My son keeps asking where she is. And I don't know what to tell him.
She's really upset. Her son's been missing now for 3 or 4 days and completely out of character, hasn't done this before.
Just said, I've had enough of, the city life and I can't do it. I'm a happy and spiritual man and I'll hopefully find something better. He signs it off, your loving son forever, Robert.
The investigation found that she actually had intended to run away with another school friend. They were to run away on the night that she actually disappeared.
In Sydney's west, Steve and Mandy are on the case of 64-year-old grandfather Wilfred Simons, who disappeared from his local club.
We're heading out to Liverpool Catholic Club first. Yesterday afternoon and into the evening, even into the small hours of the night, there was a large search, and as yet the elderly male hasn't been located.
Wilfred, a retired Baptist minister, suffers from dementia and Parkinson's disease, but his health problems don't end there.
There's concerns for him because he's a frail gentleman and he takes heart tablets every day. Once again, he's missed out on that heart tablet today.
It's becoming more urgent by the minute because if Wilfred misses his next heart pill, he might not make it. Back at the missing persons headquarters, Adam Marsh has a runaway teenager to find.
She's gone out for the night and hasn't returned, is that correct?
Yeah.
16-year-old Jessica lives with her mum, Nicole.
She went with my niece and they went up to a friend's house and I gave them a curfew of what time they had to be home and they didn't come then. And she said she'd be home at 3:30. She's just going to see her sister who's had a baby.
3:30 p.m?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she's got some friends that she's in regular contact with. I noticed Con, you don't know anything about this person called Con?
She had contact with this Con and she would tell me she was terrified of him and she didn't want to speak to him anymore. He's in Melbourne, but according to my niece, he was up here on Wednesday.
Did she say why she's terrified of him?
No, she just said he's creepy. He told me he was 29. He's told her he's 22.
All right, thanks very much. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, okay. All right, just give us a call if you do hear anything and, of course, we'll let you know as well.
Excellent.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye. That worries me quite a bit. She said she was terrified of this guy she knows. He says he hasn't seen her, but we can't confirm that, so it's a worry.
It's a Caucasian male, about 64 years old.
Meanwhile, at Liverpool, in Sydney's southwest,
with a walking stick and glasses.
Mandy and Steve are joining local police and volunteers to search for Grandad Wilfred Simons. He went missing from a club next to this car park.
Our last known location's here, walking out of those doors at 1 o'clock. So what we've got to actually concentrate on is areas we searched last night. Those areas last night were done with teams trying to cover ground, but we need to get out and research where he possibly is.
This is the last sighting of Wilfred, captured on the club's security cameras. He's been missing now for 20 hours. As you can see here, while his wife was signing in, Wilfred became confused and followed a group of strangers out the door. Where he went then is anyone's guess.
12 months ago, same thing happened. He went missing, didn't take his medication. 4 hours from the time he went missing, he was unconscious. He's at the stage where he's not going to be able to speak. He won't respond. If you call his name, he won't respond at all.
And that's why police are worried. If Wilfred has wandered into this thick scrub nearby, it makes the search much harder.
They got 5 search parties. From where there was a couple of possible sightings in an area, they're going to concentrate on that area first of all. Saturate that area, have a look right through it, then move on to another if he's not located.
And now they have to act fast because the temperature is expected to hit 40. So every minute Wilfred's out here could mean the difference between life and death. Meanwhile, in the case of 16-year-old runaway Jessica, Adam is heading north to Newcastle to meet her mum, Nicole Bowers.
She's only 16 years old, and it is a concern because if this guy is 29 or in his 20s, then he's got a lot more experience than she has, and he may be leading her astray.
Nicole is beside herself because she fears Jessica is with a man who's around 30.
You've spoken to this con?
I don't know anything about him. All I know is his phone number. And I know that when I spoke to him a year ago, he told me he was 33, the same age as me. But the girls told me that he's only 21. And then the other day they told me he's 25, so I don't know how old he is.
When was the last time they spoke that you know of?
Wednesday night, my niece said they spoke on Wednesday night and that he was coming to pick her up.
All right.
He goes to the local motel. Apparently he stays there when he works up that way. But I don't know how often. I believe he was up a couple of months ago. I don't know.
Unfortunately, Adam has seen this all before. Teenage girls running away with older men. And if Jessica is afraid of Con, it doesn't make sense why she'd go with him.
Did she seem, like, upset about anything recently?
No, she hasn't been any different.
Where does she like to hang out at?
Just down our local waterfront.
Local waterfront?
Yeah, we have a marina that all the kids hang around. I don't think she understands how to stay in a happy home. Like, she's used to it always being unhappy, so when it's good, she seems to create problems for herself.
Another familiar story. Confusion over where she belongs.
We want to try and contact Jessica, perhaps herself, and maybe Con, if he'll answer the phone. I think he's the key to this case.
It's now 15 hours since anyone has seen or spoken to Newcastle teenager Jessica.
Let's try Con.
So Adam's been trying to reach Con, the older man Jessica might be with.
Con doesn't want to answer his phone.
The person you are calling is not available.
Yeah, they certainly aren't.
Then, just before he tries again, Adam gets a call from the office.
Hello? Yep, Sergeant Ambrose, you got some information for me?
Records show Jessica has been trying to access money, unsuccessfully.
Transaction at 5:07 p.m.
Right. Where was that at, do you know?
It was at Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Adam is now worried that without money, Jessica is being supported by the much older man.
Hello, Con, it's Constable Adam Marsh calling from the Police Missing Persons Unit.
Then, a breakthrough. In Sydney's southwest, 50 volunteers joined police in this search for Wilfred Simons, suffering from his heart condition.
Yeah, we're looking for anything sign that the person's been here, like a cane, clothing, disturbances in the grassland, crushed grasses.
Yeah, just wait here. Just hold the line for a sec.
Without his medication, Wilfred could have collapsed and be anywhere in this long grass.
Nothing in there? Oh, yeah.
While Steve's team searches the paddocks, Mandy and her team concentrate on a nearby riverbank.
It's really quite worrying because it actually is getting hotter. It's humid. We don't know if he's got water, and as far as the old saying goes, looking for a needle in a haystack, this is about as close as you get.
It's now 30 hours. Police are thinking the worst.
We're just ringing in relation to Jessica.
Meanwhile, Adam's on the phone to Con, the older man they believe holds the key to Jessica.
What did she say to you last time you spoke to her? Sorry?
And also, the man he believes is lying.
Thank you. Bye. He's telling us a pretty wild story that he hasn't been up here for years. But something just doesn't seem right with that. The information that we have is that he's been up here several times and been up here recently, as recently as last week. So somebody's not telling the truth. We've got to find out who.
It's now almost a day and a half into the search for 64-year-old Wilfred Simons, and it's reached a critical point.
Probably 4 to 5 next milepost and tracking the road towards the M7.
They now fear he could have wandered onto this major Sydney tollway.
Now moving over to joining bushland area.
While the police air wing search the bush from above, other police go underground.
I believe this gentleman went missing last year, and when he went missing that time, he was actually located in a drain. If he's gone into any sort of low-lying area here, all the water sort of washes into the drainage system, so it's just better to be safe than sorry.
Apart from his heart condition, Wilfred suffers from dementia. It's now that police pushies are called into the search, and they spread out across walking tracks.
Pick it up.
Meanwhile, Tango the bloodhound is trying to pick up Wilfred's scent from one of his slippers. Tango's owner has volunteered to help find Wilfred.
It's uncanny how they do it. They just want to find that particular scent. He's got something, so we've just got to let him go with it. Let's just hope he's on the right trail. Pick it up.
In the search for 16-year-old runaway Jessica, police arrived to interview Kerry Campbell, whose daughter Rebecca was the last person to see Jessica.
Hi, Kerry. Hi, Adam Marsh. Nice to meet you. This is Pat. We're from the Missing Persons Unit. Obviously hear about Jessica.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you could tell us when the last time you saw her was?
Be Thursday morning, about 6:20. She left here.
Okay. How did she seem to you?
Fine. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that this would have happened. I thought she was going straight home to get ready for work.
Okay.
They did take off about 12, 18 months ago, her and Rebecca.
Okay.
But we found them within an hour or so. They were around at some boy's place where they were supposedly taking off to go to Melbourne.
Melbourne. That's where Con, the older man, lives when he's not passing through hotel rooms or flats in Newcastle.
Do you know any of her friends that live over there?
I only know of this one chap whose name's Con. But I wouldn't even know what he looked like.
Okay.
Never met him. This seems to be the thing, these boys or men or whatever you want to call them, just seem to contact by phone.
Mm.
You know, we've never actually met these people. They just contact the girls all the time. But I don't think they realise what can happen.
Thanks very much for your time.
No worries.
Right.
Thanks.
See you later.
So now, Adam hurries over to those nearby flats in the hope of cornering Con. Back in Liverpool, Tango the bloodhound is onto something.
Just came down here now. The scene can be dragged down by vehicles, pedestrian traffic, and a lot of the wind. And the wind is actually currently coming this way. So we're just looking for the dog to pick up the scent again. And just through subtle body language changes, I can sort of tell when he's on it.
At the same time, Steve's team is hoping locals can help.
We're searching all the houses in the area, actually, if people aren't home, having a look in their backyards just to make sure the gentleman hasn't got into the backyard. We don't have any luck here, we'll expand the area and move outside it.
And while Steve continues his ground search, above, the police air wing switched to thermal imaging to try and pick up Wilfred's body heat.
So here's for the aircraft that left. I just want to get a good look under the tree line down there. Just missing person availability. You may have tripped before and then just come down underneath the trees.
At the same time, Tango picks up a scent, but the wind is making it difficult.
He sort of showed a bit of interest down here. He went to this dead area, showed negative interest in his body language and came back up. I mean, he wanted to sort of head up there.
And then, what could be a major breakthrough.
Is he conscious? Okay, righto. Get wrong. Where is he? It's up on the M7, northbound.
A truckie has spotted a body lying in a ditch right next to the tollway. But is it Wilfred?
Oh, is it? Yeah,
In the search for teenager Jessica, Adam's only clue is still the much older mystery man.
We don't know too much about Con, unfortunately. We do know that Jessica's been in touch with him over the last few months. We don't know how that contact's been made, whether it's been through the internet or whether it's been over the phone. But there has been some contact, and that's what her friends and family are saying. We don't know if Con is in Melbourne or if he's up here just around the corner. We don't know.
So Adam heads straight for where Con stays.
Just wondering if you've seen this girl. She's gone missing just recently, and we know that she's come to these residences before. She obviously knew somebody who lived within here. She's actually got dark hair now.
No, I haven't.
All right, if you do happen to see her or around here, or you know of anyone that knows her, like any young blokes around here that may know her, just contact the police as soon as possible.
Another dead end.
Because we're quite concerned for her. Okay. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
So now police investigate a nearby motel where Con also stays.
We're just looking for a missing girl. Her name's Jessica. Apparently she was friendly with a guy that goes by the name of Con. He may have been here about 3 months ago.
Con strikes a bell.
Mandy and Steve are racing to the side of the tollway, where a man has been found lying only metres from traffic.
Yeah, but we can't get to him from up here.
All right, let's do.
And it is Wilfred Simons.
It's okay, Wilfred. You're okay, darling, okay? The ambulance are going to come, okay, darling?
Wilfred is not responding. He's sunburnt, dehydrated and covered in ants.
It's okay, Wilfred.
He appears to be only clinging to life. The next few minutes are critical as Mandy and her team try to stabilise him. Meanwhile, at the Newcastle motel...
He would have come under the name of Con, would he, you think? Yeah.
Police are following up information that Jessica's older man, Con, stays here when he's not in Melbourne.
And nothing jumps out at me immediately as being... But the name is familiar.
Again, no joy. So, in desperation, police head to one of Jessica's favourite haunts, the waterfront.
How you going? G'day, guys. Good, sorry to bother you. Just wanted to speak to you about a missing person. Her name's Jessica. She's 16 years old. Her hair's dark at the moment. We're very concerned for her at the moment. Yeah. She's been missing for 3 or 4 days, so she's not in any trouble or anything. Yeah. You haven't seen her at all? Or...
No, we're repairing her.
We're from the Missing Persons Unit. We've got a missing person, 16-year-old Jessica. That's a recent photo of her. She likes to come out and hang out down here with her friends. Looking for her everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, I see her walking around up here a fair bit, yeah.
She's got shoulder-length hair. I think it's dark at the moment with orange streaks in it. Yep.
She dresses a bit outrageous for her age, so if someone was out there to target her, someone would, I'm pretty sure.
It seems lots of people know her down here, so we're in the right area, but unfortunately nobody's seen her since the day she went missing, so it's quite concerning.
Back home, her mum is more frantic than ever.
My son keeps asking where she is. And I don't know what to tell him. She's called me mum since Christmas last year. Like, I don't even consider her as a cared-for child, you know. And I just want her back.
Just going to take his pulse.
Across town, the struggle to save 64-year-old grandfather Wilfred Simons is in full swing.
Is the ambulance going to come? Just get the ants off you, darling.
Parkinson's disease, dementia, a heart condition and no medication for over 30 hours. His body is going into shock.
Are you hurting anywhere, Wilfred? Pardon, darling? Your ear? That's okay. It's a little bit sunburned.
Found at the side of the highway, police aren't sure if he's been hit by a car
right, sweetie. Try not to move, OK, darling?
So they can't move him in case he has spinal injuries.
No, baby, we just don't want to move you in case you've hurt something, OK?
And all the time, Mandy needs to keep talking to Wilfred to make sure he doesn't become unconscious.
You're going to be fine, sweetheart, OK? You're OK.
Because if he does drift away, they could lose him.
Ambulance are here now, darling, OK?
Paramedics are still working furiously with Mandy to save Wilfred Simons' life.
It's OK, sweetie.
Okay, just want to get these ants off.
It's just water, Wilfred.
Just water.
Oh,
Bit more on your mouth.
It says his ear was sore, but I don't know if it's the ants or the other side.
Sorry. Chopper.
Seems to be missing for?
Since yesterday afternoon, 1 o'clock.
Oh, God love him.
So he's probably been here all night.
It's a long time without food, water or shelter. But after working on him for 30 minutes, paramedics think he might pull through.
It's OK, darling.
Mate, the good thing is he's breathing, he's alive. Mate, he's a lot better than what the condition we thought and the family probably thought that he'd be in at this stage. So it's quite good.
You're right, Wilfred.
It is good. But paramedics are still not sure if Wilfred has been hit by a car and is suffering spinal injuries.
It's all right. He's hit. It's OK, darling.
At South Australia's Missing Persons Unit, Detective Sergeant Paul Ward has new evidence on a 25-year-old case.
Michaela Godot was a 15-year-old girl born in Germany in 1967. Michaela arrived here in Australia in 1981 with her stepfather, her mother and 2 brothers.
When Michaela first disappeared, it made the evening news.
Just before she left, the family had decided to return to West Germany, but Michaela refused.
At first, they thought Michaela was a runaway, but after new information, they now suspect the 15-year-old was murdered.
We're going to conduct an examination of the home address with the view of finding any new evidence that is there.
Across town, scientist Ian Moffat prepares to search the backyard of Michaela's old home.
What this is a ground-penetrating radar. Basically, it just sends an electromagnetic pulse down into the ground. As you can imagine, once a body decomposes, there's actually not that much material left. So it's easier, in fact, to image the changes in the soil rather than a skeleton itself.
If Ian does find any bones, this suburban backyard will become a crime scene.
It's OK, darling. It's OK, Wilfred.
Outside Sydney, paramedics have confirmed 64-year-old Wilfred has not been hit by a car, but his condition is still critical.
All right, Wilfred, I'm going to put this up your nose, okay? It's going to help with the pain, all right?
It's all right, darling. It's all right. They're just going to give you something for the pain, darling, all right? It's OK. That's it, darling.
And while the paramedics prepare him for hospital,
OK, sweetheart.
Mandy is still keeping him calm.
It's OK.
And after 3, back again. 1, 2, 3.
You're right, darling. There you go.
It's a great result for everyone. Wilfred has every chance of survival.
2, 3, left.
There we go. Okay.
Watch your backs. You're right, darling. It's OK.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you realise, we've found our missing person. On behalf of Green Valley Command, I'd just like to thank all the various sections who helped out during today and last night. We've got the SES, who's always out willing to help us. I'd also like to thank the Missing Person Unit for their assistance. You know, their help the last 24 hours, I don't think we would have found him. It turned out to be a fantastic result, not only for us, but also especially for the family and the friends of our missing person. All right, thank you all again.
Although he is critical, paramedics are quietly confident he will make it back to his family.
Well, that's great, Mandy. Great result, isn't it, eh?
And someone up there is watching that family.
Yep, and hopefully you'll be okay.
That's all right.
Back at Adelaide's Missing Persons Unit.
Okay, this is Robin Ferraro from our Missing Persons Unit.
Afternoon, pleased to meet you. You too.
Michaela Godot's best friend Kay is now being interviewed.
Leading up to her disappearance, how do you feel that she was feeling? Do you think she was happy, sad? Is there anything troubling her?
She was troubled, yeah. I
understand a lot about it then, which I'm frustrated about now, of course. She was very unhappy to the point where she used to cut her arms with little compasses and protractors and things. She frequently had bruises on her, and yeah, she was very unhappy.
Do you think she had anywhere to go? Did she ever talk to you about where she would go if she did run away?
No, that's the thing. I don't know where she would have gone, and part of me is fearful that maybe something more sinister's happened to her. I'm thinking maybe she may have been murdered.
After 25 years of fearing the worst, Kay just wants answers.
I just hope that someone might remember something from watching this. And if you do, no matter how small it is, please ring up and share your information, because it could just be that missing link that we need to solve it.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit,
Far away, so we should be right. It's not
Mark and Faye are working on the breaking case of David Randolph. He left his mother's home to go fishing and then vanished.
My main concerns are that David hasn't told anybody where he's going. He actually gave a lie to cover his tracks. He said he was going fishing when he never did. His fishing gear is still at home. He even spoke to his cousin, asked him to go fishing, and the cousin couldn't go. So there's some attempt to cover tracks there, which is a bit concerning. David's also got a few problems, ADHD and a few other little medical issues, and he hasn't been taking his medication. Definitely concerns in relation to his mental state at the moment.
David left his mum, Carolyn, with his 2 baby girls and fiancé.
At first, when he went missing, I didn't worry. I thought, oh, you know, new dad, stress, maybe just needed time out with the boys. Left it the next day and thought he might have got drunk, slept at a mate's place, nothing. Melissa and I had a chat and I said to Melissa, he just hasn't seen himself. He's been agitated. If the kids cried, he'd say, oh, for God's sake, I can't take much more. Yeah, anyway, didn't pay any attention, waited another day. Once Tuesday came of this week and he didn't come to get his pay, I knew there was something wrong. When I went for a drive, because we thought I won't involve the cops, you know, we'll just drive around and see if we can find him ourselves. Went to Cardiff, here's his car in the car yard. And I thought, how could he sell his car? I own it. I paid 10 grand for it, okay? Even the chamber magistrate at the courthouse said the car yard had to have known that there was something fishy when they're paying 2.5 grand for this car.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. What we'll do, the car's obviously an issue.
Yeah,
issue for you, okay?
it is.
But I'm more concerned with David at the moment. So, to be obvious...
You won't find him. I'm telling you now. I don't know whether he's done a runner because he knows that I'm going to kill him over the car, and that's a possibility, or whether he's just... it's just like he's disappeared off the planet. Usually he would ring. There's been no phone call. The little girl in the chair over there, he never moves unless he takes her everywhere he goes. You know, even if he's only going down the garage, he'll take Maya with him.
That's very concerning, a bit intriguing. Mums normally know best and Mum's a bit upset. Can't really figure out what's going on here. The trick will be the car sale and what actually happened there, so we'll go down there now, try and catch him before that shut.
In New South Wales, Mark and Faye are visiting a Newcastle car yard where 22-year-old David Randolph sold his car and vanished.
This is his actual car here. I've just had confirmation that David actually cashed the cheque that he got. So he now has cash in his pocket, which makes things very interesting and it'll make it a lot harder to trace. So we'll see what we can find out. Can you remember, David, when you come in here with the car?
We see these people every day, but yeah, he's a young fella. He seemed all right to me, I thought.
Did he seem urgent to get rid of it, or?
He did ask could he cash the cheque straight away.
Did he say anything about where he was going from here, or?
No, only to the bank.
In these sorts of cases, it's the children who suffer as well. David's fiancée, Melissa, just doesn't know how to explain to her babies why Daddy isn't home.
David, if you're watching this, if you don't want to come home, that's fine. Just ring and let someone know that you're safe. Ring me, ring your mum, ring your nan, anyone. And just to let us know and just to ring and see how the girls are.
Meanwhile, in Adelaide, Robin and Paul are meeting with the mother and brother of schoolgirl Michaela Godot, who's been missing since 1983.
Quite a number of years now since Michaela disappeared?
Yeah, it's about coming up 25 years on the 19th of December. So it's quite a few years down the track.
At the time, Michaela's stepfather was caring for her, while her mother was working temporarily overseas.
He said, yes, she wasn't happy. She didn't want to stay home. She wanted to go to some friends and wanted to go to parties. There could have been conflicts because my husband didn't let her go and whatever, so.
Eventually, Emmy's marriage broke down and she was left heartbroken and wondering.
I never have given up hope to seeing Michaela again or finding out what actually happened to her.
In the search for young dad David Randolph, Mark's visiting David's cousin, Darren.
How you going, mate?
The missing man claimed he was going fishing with Darren the day he disappeared.
It was about 7:45. He rang up and I answered the phone. He said, you want to come for a beer today? I said, yeah, all right. He said, we're just going out to Glendale shopping. And I came back here and just haven't heard from him since. I just rang one of her mates and her son seen him 2.5 hours ago getting off a train at Hamilton.
Yeah.
So...
Did he say anything to him?
As soon as David seen Jake, he got off the train.
As soon as he saw Jake, he got off the train.
Yeah.
It's now more certain than ever that David is running from something. So Mark heads off to visit Jake to see if he knows where David was headed. "16-year-old Jessica has been missing now for 4 days. Adam suspects she's run off with a man twice her age called Con.
Hello, is this Rose?
Yeah, that's her.
Hi,
So he's hoping her sister Rose may now know where they are.
But how long ago has she been missing for?
4 days.
No.
Yeah, she knows you're pregnant, and she's mentioned that.
Yeah.
And she mentioned that she was coming up to see you. That's why I'm calling you.
Yeah, I haven't seen her. She doesn't even know where I live.
You would tell police if you had seen her?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, okay then.
Okay, then.
All right, just call your local police station as soon as you hear from her, or you hear where she is, okay?
All right, then.
Thank you, Rose.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye. No luck again. This is extremely concerning. All the people that she's supposed to be going to see, she hasn't been in contact with. So it's a real worry.
In Adelaide, it's now several hours since a scientist began combing the backyard for clues to 15-year-old Michaela's disappearance.
It's quite difficult in a backyard. People do incredible things. They're digging and they're putting in gardens and burying things. So there's always going to be a lot of material here that we need to sort of sift through. But any disturbance in the subsurface is something we're interested in. It's very difficult to detect skeletal material on its own, but normally when you dig a hole, there is actually disturbance to the soil that we can see with the radar, so we're really looking for that mostly.
And while the search continues in the backyard, inside the house, her brother Axel is showing police his sister's old bedroom.
Did she share the room with anybody, or was it just her own individual bedroom?
Yeah, it was her only. I was in the room next to this room.
Even though it's been 25 years, for Axel, the pain of his sister's disappearance is still very real.
Coming here today is the strangest feeling for a long time, to say the least. Every now and then when people ask about your family, it gets a little bit awkward, but time sort of doesn't make you forget, but it makes it a little bit easier. But it doesn't go away neither.
In the search for 22-year-old dad David Randolph, Mark is meeting up with the last person to have seen him alive, family friend Jake.
You know David fairly well, do you? Yep. Is that the gentleman?
Yep.
What did you do when you saw him?
Well, I was sitting there on the back of the train and I was looking down the alley bit and he turned around and I thought
I was thinking who it might be, and then after he turned around and he took his sunnies off, and I said that was David. And then the train stopped at Hamilton and he got off. I looked out the window and he was staring at me and that, and it was David.
So he recognised you?
Yep, he knew it was me. So, yeah, I don't know where I got off, but...
Didn't say anything?
No.
Hey, that was great. Jake confirmed that it was actually David that he saw on the train. So we'll head to this train station, talk to the station master and see what he can tell us.
Back at home, David's mum is still caring for his 2 baby girls and makes this plea to her son.
David, I know you've sold your car, mate, but Maya's playing up, Melissa's really bad. If you just don't want to come home and there's something wrong, can you please just contact somebody in the family and let them know you're all right? Or even Waratah Police Station. Just let somebody know that you're okay. You don't even have to tell us where you are if you don't want to. Yeah, we'd really like to hear from you, mate.
In the search for the gullible teenager, Jessica, Adam is visiting the teenager's workplace to see if her boss, Jenny, knows where she might be.
We're just looking for Jessica at the moment. I believe she works here.
Yes, she does.
This is a current photo of her.
Absolutely.
How well do you know her?
Quite well. She's been here for 6 months, and she's become very close to the rest of the staff. Yeah.
Okay.
These closed-circuit pictures were taken just hours before Jessica disappeared. And while she looked like any other 16-year-old, she certainly wasn't behaving like one.
She's been wanting to move out of home for a while. She's been having some major difficulties in that particular area. She has asked customers, could she go and live with them?
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting information.
And worrying. If Jessica is asking to live with complete strangers, then an older man offering to support her would be just as appealing.
I'm really, really scared for her. She is such a special person, but she is a bit gullible. You know, she takes people at face value, and that's a problem. You know, she's 16, she's vivacious, and it really bothers me that something awful has happened.
In Adelaide, the search of Michaela Godot's old backyard is winding up.
We now need to take the data back to the lab, process it up and just improve the signal a little bit, bring out the results in much more detail. So we'll be looking to do that as soon as we can and then inform the police of the results of this investigation.
It's always a waiting game, except this time, police are preparing for the worst.
We'll have a look at the area, may do a dig and see what we can find. It's important to eliminate or exclude and include all lines of inquiries.
And back home, Michaela's mum is still waiting for answers.
If somebody out there could please tell Michaela that her mum and her brother are still looking for her and if she could contact us.
In Newcastle, there's a breakthrough on missing dad David Randolph.
The local police put an ad in the paper asking for information, and a member of the public contacted with information, and as a result of that information, David's been located safe and well.
It turns out David left his baby daughters after an argument with his mother, and he's been hiding out at Bulahdelah, north of Newcastle. And when Mark arrives, he finds David and his fiancée Melissa have already been reunited.
I'm glad to see you okay. Had a bit of an adventure.
Oh yeah, just a little one.
So, mate, what can you tell me?
Me and Mum had a fight about a week ago on that. Like an argument and that, and I just thought, nah, we've got to get out, I'm just sick of it. And with the kids it's hard, so thought it's time to get our own place and move on.
Things are okay with Mum?
Yeah, she's talking to us and everything. She's coming up on Saturday, so...
Yeah, what do you think about the car?
That
wasn't a very good subject.
Yeah, she wasn't too impressed about it, but...
Touchy.
Yeah.
Not exactly the most practical way to do things, but without telling anyone, David sold the family car to put the money towards a rental property.
Wave, say ta-das.
Well, that's a great result. It's good to see him back with the family. They all seem happy again, as you would be. I hope for the sake of Melissa and the children that they can work it out.
Back in Sydney, Mandy and Steve are about to share one of those rewarding moments of the job.
Rosalie, hello, good, how are you? I'm Steve, Mandy from Missing Persons Unit.
Rosalie has been Wilfred Simons's wife for 37 years, and in recent years, his full-time carer.
These are the people that found you, darling, when you got lost. Near the M7. He looks better now, doesn't he?
Looks a lot better.
Incredibly, Wilfred's only real injuries were sunburn, dehydration and ant bites. After a couple of weeks in hospital, he was allowed home.
Yeah, he still has a bit to get over,
Yeah.
trying to drink and eat and walking.
We did start to really worry that it wouldn't have turned out as well as it did, and to see so
blessing
much
from the
better
Lord.
colour. And see his eyes. We couldn't really even see your eyes, you poor thing. He's such in a bad way. Such a big part of us were expecting the worst as well.
That's right.
But to get to you when you were on the ground and to hold your hand, and your hand was so warm, and you held my hand so tight. In 20 years, I've been a police officer, and I'll never forget that, because I was not expecting your hand to be so warm. Like it was an amazing feeling.
It really, yeah.
Oh, it does. And like to see him now, this is just amazing to see. I know you're not well, but you look so much better than you did.
And
you're
in the
amazing,
police.
man. He's so strong.
That's right.
Incredible. Yeah, take care, Wilfred.
See ya.
Thanks, Rosalie.
Okay, darling, you have a little rest. There you go. Okay. Then we'll get you up in a minute, okay? I'll get you something more to eat and drink.
At the Missing Persons Unit, Mandy Gale is on the phone to the mum of missing schoolboy Joel Harrison.
Hello.
Hello, Patricia. How you going?
No, not too bad.
14-year-old Joel disappeared 4 days ago, and there was no sign that anything was wrong.
What had happened was he had got ready for school. I'd packed his lunch for him, and I had to leave to go to a course. Apparently he didn't go to school. There was no indication he was going to do this.
And has he ever stayed away from school before?
I had no problem with him. He ducks the school, and he loves school.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has been jigging it quite a bit. He'd go off to school like normal,
Yeah.
and he's been jigging it quite a bit.
Is this more recently, or?
In the last probably 12 months.
Has he got a lot of friends? Is he not that sort of person, or is he kept to himself a little bit?
He's got a lot of friends, mainly more nerdy friends.
We'll be out there as soon as we can, Patricia, okay?
Okay then.
All right.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Poor lady, she sounds so strong, but she's obviously getting to a point now that she's struggling a little bit, which is understandable. Like, yeah, he's 14 years old, he's still a little boy, and in his mum's eyes, he's always going to be a little boy.
Another busy day for teenage runaways. As Mandy and Mark head off, across town, Constable Dan Walker is already on his way to meet the mum of missing 14-year-old Joanna Tuale.
It is an age where you tend to see a large number of runaways. And it's not to trivialise it or anything like that. There's cases where kids just do not want to be home, but there are as many cases out there where the kids have gone missing for reasons that we have to investigate.
Joanna is just 14.
G'day.
Her mum has now learned from Joanna's cousin BJ that Joanna vanished before the school swimming carnival 3 days ago.
Our records say she was with BJ. What's he's got to say about Joanna going missing?
Nothing. He just said they just didn't go to the carnival, and when it's time they're supposed to go back to the bus stop, and she went with that girl, Annie.
Annette?
Annette.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Do you know Annette at all?
no, we never. I don't know what she looked like.
Missing the swimming carnival, is that something that
I
would
know.
happen?
She loves swimming. I was shocked when I found out this morning she didn't go to the carnival on Friday.
All right, and going missing over the weekend without letting her mum know, is this...
The first time she do this.
Okay. Well, we'll get out and about, and I'll be in touch if we hear anything.
So now they set off to find out more about the friend she ran off with.
Thank you very much for coming, everyone.
You all right? You got anyone here with you you can speak to?
Yeah, my auntie will be here soon.
They're there? All right. That was really interesting. A girl at the school might know where they are, so we're headed straight off to the school. Going to make a few inquiries there.
In the search for 14-year-old Joel Harrison, his mum Trish is frantic because he's driven off with a group of older boys.
She's really upset. Her son's been missing now for 3 or 4 days and completely out of character, hasn't done this before. She describes him as a bit of a nerd, tends to hang around home, likes his computer and doesn't have a lot of friends. So, yeah, we're really worried because it's really out of character for him. So what sort of a kid is he?
Very quiet. Both my boys were. Very quiet, very bright boy, exceptionally bright boy.
Okay. You did mention he ducks the school.
He ducks the school in primary school and he sort of went downhill after that. I think it might be just the age.
Has he ever run before?
No.
Never?
Never.
Has he got a mobile phone?
He has.
You've obviously tried to ring that a fair bit.
Knowing Jolie's got it switched off.
We might give it a ring anyway and just see. Sometimes if a different number comes up, he might answer it.
Joel's mum may not be able to get through to his mobile, but she does at least give Mandy and Mark a lead.
Well, apparently he was picked up in a blue Commodore. They've worked out whose it is and where they were going to Young. And he was apparently dropped off down at Campbelltown Station.
So do you know the people that were in the blue Commodore? Like if you
I knew 2 of them.
You know 2 of them?
Philip and Crystal.
So Mandy and Mark now start searching for the older group who Joel has fallen in with.
He's a bit of a mystery man, Joel. There's nothing there to indicate where he might have gone. I think the next thing we'll do is ring Phil and see if he knows where he is.
Just a few suburbs away, in the search for Joanna, Dan has been talking to the principal of her school.
Yeah, the principal was really helpful. She identified that the school is really concerned about it and have been making inquiries throughout the day, and they identified that one of the students, Lily, may know where Joanna is.
So that's where they're heading now. But all too often, friends of runaways won't talk.
I think the fear amongst them are that they don't want to dob their friend in or they don't want to get their friend in trouble. But it's not a case of anyone needs to be in trouble here. We just want to check on the safety of Joanna and make sure she's okay.
And no one is more worried for Joanne's safety than her desperate mum, who makes this plea.
Joanna, if you're watching your mom, please don't be scared to come home. You know, we do things together. He always tell me where you want to go. I always go with you. Please, just come home. I still love you, always. No one loves you more than your own mom. Your family is everywhere looking for you.
In Sydney's west, police are trying to locate an older group that 14-year-old Joel Harrison has run away with.
Is that Phil?
Yes.
Phil, my name's Mandy. I work at the Missing Persons Unit. How you going?
Okay, yeah.
Phil is the older boy who picked Joel up in his car just before he disappeared.
Is he with you?
No.
Do you know where he is?
No, last time we saw him, he was going to, we dropped him off, I think it was the train station, and I haven't heard from him since.
And when was that?
About 2:30 on Thursday.
And where was he before that? How did you get... was he with you all morning?
Pardon?
Was he with you all morning?
Suddenly, the line goes dead.
How convenient. They've switched off the phone. I think we just have to leave it. They're obviously on their way back to Sydney. They're still a couple of hours out, so hopefully when they get home, Joel will either be with them or they'll need to be spoken to, and certainly clarify where they dropped him off, what time and all that, and if need be we can get the footage from the railway station and make sure that did in fact happen.
Meanwhile, Dan and Joe have arrived at the home of Joanna Toale's friend, Lily.
We're looking for Joanna, so is there anything you can tell us where she may be? And no one's in trouble here. It's not a case of anyone's in trouble. We're really worried about her, and we want to find out where she is to make sure she's safe.
She might be at the train station.
At the train station? Bankstown train station. How do you know that?
Because she sometimes goes there.
She sometimes goes there, is that right? Who with? Anniette.
Anniette is the same girl who Joanna ran off with before the swimming carnival 3 days ago.
You don't have to think of yourself that you're dobbing anyone in or anything like that. It's just we need to know where she is because her parents, her mum's really concerned about her. Obviously, the police are involved now. Police are concerned about her, so we need to know where she is.
I don't know where she is.
You don't know? You're being honest with me? So just that she might be hanging around the train station.
Yeah, that's all I know.
It's often the same old story. As soon as police try to talk to teenagers, up goes the wall of silence.
I don't think Lily told us everything she knows, but what she did tell us was they like to hang around Bankstown railway station, so we're going to have a look there, see what we can find.
Back at the office, there's been a breakthrough in the case involving Joel Harrison.
Missing persons unit.
Hello?
Patricia.
Yeah.
How you going?
Mandy's talking to Joel's mum, who's just heard from one of his mates.
He has just contacted Adam. Apparently he's in the Campbelltown region. He's all right, but he wouldn't tell them where he was.
Did he ring from his own mobile?
Didn't say it was from a private number.
Okay. And how did he sound?
Said he was all right and he was in the Campbelltown region.
So now, Mandy's hoping Joel's friend Adam knows something.
Hello?
Hey, Adam, how you going?
Not bad.
So you spoke to Joel yourself?
Yeah, today.
How'd he sound?
Oh, he sounded normal, like...
Did he?
Great as normal.
Do you think he's in some sort of trouble, or do you think he's just having some time
I have
out?
no idea.
What about girlfriends? You got a girlfriend, or...?
No.
If you do speak to him, if he does ring you again, just tell him he's not in any trouble, but he just needs the police to see that he's okay. But everyone's just worried about him, and we have a duty of care to make sure he gets home safely and that he's safe and well, and that's the only reason we're involved. But he's not in any trouble. And try and get him to ring his mum.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Adam. The main concern is he's never done it before. He's 14 years old. I mean, he may feel he's 18, but he's still 14 years old. There's a lot of things out and about. It's not a good area. We need to get him home where he's safe and his family know he's okay. First thing we do is go to Macquarie Fields and speak to the police that are actually in charge of it and put our heads together and hopefully try and figure out where Joel is.
In the case of 14-year-old Joanna, police are searching around Bankstown railway station.
This young girl, she's 14 and she supposedly hangs around here. Have you seen her around?
Never before, to be honest, no. Like, we usually see most of the students that do hang around here, and it doesn't seem like a familiar face.
Just wondering if you've seen her around.
Yeah, I've seen her.
You have?
Yep. Because her brother and sister came to us on Friday.
Yeah.
Looking for her, and she didn't see us then.
They
came to the youth centre.
Oh, you work at the youth centre, do you? Okay. Okay, but you haven't seen her since Friday?
Not since Friday, no.
Sorry to bother you. We're just looking for a missing girl. She spends a lot of time around this area and we're just wondering if any of you would be able to help us out if we show you a photo.
So, what is she? Someone?
You know her? Joanna?
Yes, Simone.
Sorry? It's your cousin?
Yeah, is that Joanna? I'm looking for her as well, man.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we got everyone looking. My cousins, yeah, we're all looking for her.
Yeah. Okay. Right, well, obviously, you know, we're out and about. So, what areas have you sort of covered? Because we heard she hangs around here a bit.
Yeah. She's got friends around Wally Park as well.
Okay.
It's the last place I seen.
So, police and Joanna's family keep looking. Back at home, after 5 long days, her mum fears the worst.
Just I hope she's safe and not touching any drugs. Not being picked up by some stranger on the road.
In the search for 14-year-old Joanna Tuale, police are closing in.
G'day, how are you? Good. I'm Dan Walker from Missing Persons Unit.
George, that's not him.
Just making some inquiries into a young girl who's missing. She was missing around the Bankstown area, but we believe she may have been around here.
Yeah. Saw her like this morning. Looked like her around about 8 o'clock. Headed towards Bankstown. I rang up Bankstown Police, so I don't know if they found her or not.
Okay, so you're aware of her?
We are aware of it. I don't know if it's her or not, so...
Would it be CCTV footage of that I'm able to follow up?
I don't know if you can get it. Yep. You might have to ask. She was wearing pink top, the black jacket.
Pink top, black jacket. Was she with anyone that you remember?
She came with a girl. She was wearing black shorts and a white top.
It could be Joanna and her friend Aniette. They've been on the streets now for 6 days, and anything could have happened.
It's important to find her quickly. She's at a young, vulnerable age. We need to get her home to Mum. Mum's worried sick. And also, too, we don't want her getting involved in anything she shouldn't really be getting involved in.
Back at headquarters, there's been a possible breakthrough in the cold case of Christine Redford.
Hi, this is Adam Marsh calling from the New South Wales Police Missing Persons Unit. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Adam.
Adam Marsh is updating South Australia's Missing Persons Unit.
Now, we've just received some information today through Crime Stoppers. There's a person that appears similar appearance, and her name is also Christine.
Last year, we covered Christine's disappearance from Adelaide's eastern suburbs.
All her handbags and purses and everything and belongings are still at the unit. There's no sign of violence at the unit, so it's really a mystery as to what's actually occurred, what's happened to her, as if she just walked out the door and disappeared off the face of the earth.
Over the years, there were rumours that Christine had started a new and secret life somewhere else, but her best friend, Carmel, didn't believe it.
Said it's out of character for her. She's not that type of person.
Good morning, Carol Redford. Yes.
After years of investigations, not one trace has ever been found of Christine. But her sister Carol has never given up hope.
I think probably where it really came to pass that, you know, she'd gone when we were cleaning her flat out. And I said to the friend who was helping me, I said, you know what's going to happen? She's going to walk in this door any minute now and say, what the hell do you think you're doing with my stuff? You know? And he just laughed about it. Of course, that never happened.
But after showing this digitally aged photo in our last series, one of our viewers called Crime Stoppers, claiming that Christine was alive and living in Sydney.
All the information we receive through Crime Stoppers is helpful. Okay, no matter how small, we're quite hopeful that, you know, we'll find out something with this.
Meanwhile, in the search for 14-year-old Joanna, Dan and Joe head back to the office. They want to chase up closed-circuit TV footage of her at the railway station. But then they get a call from her mum.
She's heard that Joanna may be staying in a dress in Liverpool, so we got in touch with Liverpool Police, but they've had no luck so far. It's her birthday tomorrow, so you would think a 14-year-old girl would want to be with her family on her birthday.
But when they arrive at the house, it's abandoned.
It's empty, like the whole house is gutted, but there's a window on that side that's open. So I can't see like doonas or anything that anyone would be in there, but one of the windows is open.
There's a bottle of water in there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Everything is pointing to Joanna living here illegally.
Someone's had a go at that door there.
Yeah, looks like there's gemmy marks there.
And if someone has forced their way into this house and is squatting here, they've broken the law.
It's pretty clear that from looking, there's been people staying there. So what I'll do is I'll call the real estate and we'll get our representative out from the real estate so we can go inside and have a look.
Back at the Missing Persons Unit, Adam is interviewing the Crime Stoppers caller who claims to have seen Christine Redford.
I believe you may have some information that could assist us.
Yeah, I can't give you a lot of information on it, but the photograph is very similar to this woman who came to DY RSL between 8 to 10 years ago.
Okay.
Her hair's very similar to that photograph. And the sister who was on television, her mouth features are very similar to hers. She's always well dressed. She's probably about 57.
Has she ever mentioned where she's come from?
No.
No?
Look, she doesn't really tell anyone anything.
Do you happen to know where she lives?
Yeah, she lives at DY. The front unit on the northern side in the middle. There's 6 units at the front, and because I've seen her on the veranda.
And you still see her, like, recently?
Oh, yeah. Every time I go down there, she's there.
Okay, and she's a member of the club, do you know?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
The dates match, their ages match, and they share the same first name. Police think they may finally have solved this 10-year-old cold case.
Well, that sounds like a very strong lead, something we're certainly going to check out. He's been able to give us an address, which is very good. If this person turns out to be Christine Redford, then I'm sure it's going to be a relief for her family who've had to worry for nearly 10 years. Hi, it's Adam Marsh calling from the Missing Persons Unit. Is this Senior Constable Lang?
Yeah, speaking.
In the Christine Redford cold case, Adam has to organise local police on Sydney's northern beaches to follow up the tip-off.
And we received some information just recently through Crime Stoppers on a possible sighting of her in Sydney. She is a regular at a local RSL club, but if you could just attend the address and speak to the person there and see if it is Christine Redford.
So the cops at DY head out.
We're off to DY RSL. Our informant has given us information that Christine frequents that location. We certainly want to speak to the manager and perhaps a couple of staff members. So we'll head there now and see what we can see.
Hi, how you going? G'day.
We're just making some inquiries about a missing person.
Right.
There is some information that's come to us in regards to maybe her being here.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if you have seen this though. Now, does that ring any bells for either of you?
No, certainly not to me, no. We've got 32,000 members.
Yeah, I know,
visitors,
it's a big ask.
No, it doesn't look...
I do have a couple of copies of these photos. Would you mind very much if I left them with you and your staff to have a look at?
Yeah, anything we can do to help.
All right, thanks a lot.
No problem at all.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for your time. Okay, bye.
No luck yet, so they now head off to the unit where Christine might be living. Back in the office, Adam has a hot lead on his other case involving 16-year-old runaway Jessica.
Hello.
Hello, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Adam Marsh calling from the Missing Persons Unit.
Last week, we looked at the case of Jessica, who's run off with a man almost twice her age and calling himself Con.
She's got some friends that she's in regular contact with. I noticed, Con, you don't know anything about this person called Con?
She had contact with this Con and she would tell me she was terrified of him and she didn't want to speak to him anymore. He's in Melbourne, but according to my niece, he was up here on Wednesday. He told me he was 29. He's told her he's 22.
Adam tried to contact Con.
Con doesn't want to answer his phone.
But didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, they certainly aren't.
She's been missing now for 5 days. Her mum, Nicole, is worried sick.
I don't even consider her as a cared-for child, you know. And I just want her back.
So today's call from Jessica's girlfriend is Adam's best lead yet.
On Tuesday night, I tried to ring her.
Yeah.
And rang, and then I answered, and no one said anything, but there was a male voice in the background, and it sounded a lot like Con. She sounded okay, like, but there was something weird, like she didn't sound like herself.
Okay, in what way? You...
Sort of like she missed us or something like that, like she was upset.
Upset?
Yeah.
All right, did the male voice in the background say anything else?
No.
All right, thanks very much for that, Rebecca.
Alright.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Very interesting. We may try and ring Con again, see if we can get him to spill the beans, basically. It sounds like that Jessica's with him. We've just got to confirm where.
Back on Sydney's northern beaches, Police are about to door knock the unit where long-term missing woman Christine Redford may have set up another life. On the way in, they bump into this local resident.
Got a photo of a lady that we're looking for. Would you be able to have a look at this?
Yeah, oh yes.
Does that look familiar too? The lady look familiar?
Yeah, I saw it.
Really?
Saw it. Yeah, I don't think I saw it, yeah.
What if I show you another photo? Have a look at that one. That's a bit more dated. That's a bit more what she may look like today.
It looks like a familiar face anyway.
At the front door, 10 years of searching may finally be over.
It's the police, madam. Can I have a word to you, please?
Back at headquarters, Adam thinks he's getting closer to finding 16-year-old Jessica.
Hello, Con. Hi, it's Adam Marsh calling from the Police Missing Persons Unit. How are you? OK, have you seen Jessica?
While Adam talks to Con, Alicia tries to get onto Jessica, who's had her phone off now for 5 days.
We believe Jessica's with a person at the moment, a male person, and we've received information that it may be you. How do you respond to that?
As Adam works on Con, Alicia finally gets through to Jessica.
It doesn't sound like you're at a bus stop. There's babies crying in the background, so do you want to tell me where you are actually?
For all the cops know, Con and Jessica could be in the same room.
OK, do you want to give me your surname so we can at least eliminate you from the inquiries?
But all that really matters to Alicia is that Jessica is in no danger.
Jessica, this is really serious. You're not in trouble, OK? We just need to make sure you're OK.
You don't need to scream, OK? Just speak in a normal.
So you need to tell me where you are, and we'll come and see you and make sure you're right, and then we won't need to speak to you again.
Jessica is at least talking, but Con isn't giving away anything.
No, she's hung up.
And just as Alicia gets close to convincing Jessica to come in,
The person you are calling is not available.
it all falls apart.
I'll try again.
Yeah, we'll just keep trying throughout the day and see what we can do.
In the search for 16-year-old Jessica...
She seems to be with this bloke at least.
Police are combing through closed-circuit TV footage. After 5 days on the run, they finally spot the runaway in a shopping centre.
So she's with those two.
It looks like it, yeah. They look like they're all talking, don't it?
Yeah.
But then again, she sort of goes in separately.
Yeah.
So these two, they leave together.
And in the footage, Jessica looks as though she doesn't have a care in the world.
And it shows she's still in the area, which is good. This is at Toronto.
Yeah.
And if that bloke is the older man calling himself Con, she may not look scared, but she's certainly vulnerable.
So I guess we'll give them a call today with
Yeah.
the local police and
Yeah.
see if there's been any new leads.
Yep, just give them a call and see how you go.
Yep. Okay,
All right,
thanks,
excellent.
Sarge.
No worries.
And like so many teenage runaways, Jessica is oblivious to the grief she's causing her family and the police resources being used to find her. Meanwhile, in Sydney's southwest, 14-year-old Joanna Toale has now been missing for almost a week without one word.
We're investigating some missing girls from Bankstown. One girl, and we spoke to her mum, and her mum believes she's been staying here overnight. We had a quick look around, and I could see through the windows there's some food wrappers and stuff on the floor, and there's a few windows open. So if it's all right with you guys, would love to get in there, just have a look to make sure she's not inside.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we just had the locks changed the other day.
Okay.
Because it is a vacant property. The tenant did the runner, so yeah.
All right,
By all means.
we'll go have a quick look.
Okay.
Thanks for coming down too.
Not a problem.
As they enter, they're still not sure the house is empty.
Yeah.
But it's obvious the 14-year-old has been squatting here.
Got their tinned food, they've even got toothpaste.
Yeah, the corned beef that was found out.
Yeah.
Side, I wonder why.
They got toothpaste, water,
was outside.
toilet paper. It makes you think what's going through her head that this option is better than staying at home.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear someone has been squatting there. We can't confirm if it's Joanna or not, but hopefully we'll be able to find her soon. I know the family's out and about, and it's really important that we find her now. It's been 6 days.
Just after being spotted on closed-circuit TV, 16-year-old Jessica is finally picked up and questioned.
Apparently local police received a tip that Jessica was in the town, which ties in with the information that we had, that she was still around that area. And they've gone down there and they've cited her as being safe and well at a shop down there. And she's provided identification, so they've confirmed that it's her and she's staying with some friends.
Although she refused to go home, police said she appeared safe and in good spirits, which is a lot more than can be said for Nicole.
Hello, Miss Bowers.
Yes.
Hi, it's Constable Adam Marsh calling from the Missing Persons Unit. How are you?
Good.
I suppose you've heard that Jessica's been cited by local police?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. OK, at the time, she appeared safe and well. I'm sure police at the time tried to encourage her to contact you, because I know that you've been concerned and worried.
I'm just happy that she's safe.
Yeah.
And hopefully that she'll grow up one day and realise what she's done.
I mean, you obviously care a lot and you've done everything you can.
Yeah, I certainly have. And being her mum was hard.
Yeah.
And for her to go away like that was pretty horrible. But I've come to accept it.
Oh, well, look, hopefully she will come around and things will heal over. OK?
One day. Thank you very much for your time too. You guys have been awesome.
No problems. All right, you take care then.
I will, you too. Thank you.
OK, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Nicole's obviously still, you know, upset and wishes that Jessica was home with her. But at this stage, she's, I guess, going out on her own for a little while. Hopefully she'll come around and learn how much, you know, Nicole really cares for her.
While it's case closed for Adam, across the office, Senior Constable Mark Gillard's day is just beginning.
Hello, George.
Yes.
Mark Gillard, Missing Persons. How you going?
Good man.
Mark's interviewing the father of missing man, Robert Mumford, who left work 4 months ago and vanished.
Okay, George, did you hear anything at all from Robert?
No, not a word.
Not a word? Nothing from his friends or anything?
No, not a word. He had a birthday last Tuesday and not a word there either.
53-year-old Robert was always a creature of habit. He worked for the Defence Force for 33 years and always had a close relationship with his mum and dad.
But he used to come here every Thursday night for tea. Well, he missed a couple of Thursdays leading up to his disappearance, and he did ring here, and instead of saying, I'll see you on Thursday, he said, I'll see you soon. And, you know, that was out of character.
Right.
That's the last conversation I had with him.
You didn't detect anything else at all at that stage?
No, I just thought, well, he's down in the dumps, and he sort of used to look forward to coming here, and he talked to his mother. He had a great, you know, great association with his mother.
With his mum, right, yeah. George, if we would come out and have a yak to you, would that be okay?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Anything to find him.
I'll give you a yell for sure.
Right, thank you.
Okay, see you, George. Bye. Well, that's very interesting. I was hoping that Robert might have contacted his dad, but that hasn't happened. Normally there's a bit of a trail there somewhere, but just haven't been able to get onto it yet. All his friends are negative, all his families are negative, so it's just very, very strange.
In the search for 53-year-old Robert Mumford, Mark is on his way to the New South Wales Blue Mountains to question his elderly parents.
Robert's now been missing for 4 months and all our inquiries are going cold. Go up there, see if we can get a new lead. Just running out of options, really, and where to go. What we want to do, because Robert's been missing now for about 4 months, we just want to rehash a few things, see if we can find anything new, go over a few areas, hopefully it'll jolt something. Can you think of any reason at all why he'd want to go? Why he'd want to go missing?
No, his disappearance is completely out of character. When he left work, he could have not worked for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he told me his entitlements. He's been there 33 years.
Yeah, 6 weeks sick leave accumulated, 8 months long service leave, and only 2 years off collecting his superannuation, which was considerable.
Robert has not only left behind a healthy bank balance, but a loving relationship with his heartbroken parents, Joan and George.
Joan's was locked up in hospital for 15 weeks. The first 2 weeks, nobody told her, and then I saw the doctor over there, And I said, what are we going to do? And he says, she's got to be told. So we told her, and it didn't go over too good.
I wake sometimes in the night and I think, where's Robert?
Every day that he's missing is a struggle for his sick mum.
Robert, I'm very sad that you're missing, and I wait every day for news of you. Please come back.
Meanwhile, on Sydney's northern beaches...
Good morning, how are you going? My name's Rosalie, this is Lex. We're just making some inquiries into a missing person by the name of Christine.
Police are face to face with the woman who could be Christine Redford.
Can I just ask how long you've been here?
4 years in December.
Right. Do you live here by yourself?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Christine.
Your name's Christine too. It strikes me that you look very much like her. Very much, yeah. Do you have a twin sister at all? You look very much like the lady that's gone missing. There's nothing wrong with going missing. It's not an offence to do so, but it's just that people are worried about this missing person.
How old is the missing person?
Excuse me?
How old is the person?
Probably early 50s.
Very strange.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Can I ask if you've got any identification at all?
OK, can you just hold on?
Yes, of course. Yes. Thanks very much.
Because this Christine looks so much like Christine Redford, police need to check every detail.
Have you just changed your name at all, like in the last 4 years, or?
I'm not Camilla now. You're not talking to. I've been here for 4 years.
You're a Sydney girl, are you?
Yeah.
Born and bred?
Oh, definitely. I've got a brother that lives at Roseville. I ring him up every Sunday.
Okay. You know, obviously you have there are similarities.
Oh, right.
Probably not as striking as I first thought, but there are similarities. But we have to, go down.
That's right. I was just surprised. I thought, what on earth have I done?
No.
Trying to be a law-abiding citizen, you know.
Absolutely.
It's a dead end. But one false alarm is not enough for Christine's sister Carol to ever give up.
If anybody out there has seen Christine or knows anything of what might have happened with her all those years ago, we'd really love to hear something, anything, even if it's just where she is now. If you could contact your local police with any information, anything at all would be really good. Thank you.
Back in the search for Joel Harrison, Mandy has teamed up with local detective Mick Hale. Together, they're canvassing some of the local teenage hangouts.
Hello.
But before they get very far, they finally get their breakthrough after 6 days of searching.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, bye. That's excellent. He's home.
Good.
We don't quite know exactly where he's been yet. Hasn't come forward with a lot, and he probably won't. But the fact that he's home, he's safe and well, and his mum's really happy, so we'll go there and see how he's going. Hey, Patricia, how you going? You, Joel? Put your mother under stress.
You're everywhere but where you're supposed to be. Where did you go?
Oh, to some mates' houses.
Just to a mate's?
Yeah.
Can we have a talk with you about where you've been and what you're doing?
Do I have to tell you exactly where I've been?
Well, no, that's up to you. We don't have to tell us anything. It's not an offence.
All right.
All right. Come on, we'll have a yarn.
Joel won't play ball. So Mick tries to reason with him so he doesn't run again.
Eh? When you decide to clear out, for whatever reason, I'm not even going to ask you why you went or what. It's up to you. You want to tell me. But let someone know.
Yeah.
Righto? Let any of your friends know. At least we got someone that we can talk to. And if you're on a mobile phone, keep your mobile on, not to divert.
It's dead.
Well, charge it up. Right? And you can ring me, let me know you're all right.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's places you can go and stay. Refuge if you want to get away. Anyway, you're back. You're healthy.
Yeah.
All righty, mate.
No worries.
You look after yourself.
See ya.
You behave.
We're glad you're all right. It's hard to sort of get a picture of what these kids are like, but he was lovely. He didn't look like, you know, a trouble sort of kid. He looked healthy, he was happy, and his mum's happy that he's home. And it was good Mick had to talk to him, because I think it's important these kids understand they're not in trouble, but how important it is they let someone know they're all right.
Across town, Dan's got some good news of his own about 14-year-old Joanna Toale.
This morning we're headed off to Joanna's house in Bankstown. I got in touch with Mum, and Mum's absolutely over the moon. Joanna came home on Thursday night. Family member found her out at Liverpool. So we're headed out to the house now to speak to both of them.
When they get there...
Hello, how are you?
The relief is written all over her mum's face.
How are you?
But Joanna is looking pretty sheepish.
So, just to get a bit of an idea, what were you doing for the week?
Stayed with my friends in Liverpool.
You're just staying with friends? Okay. What were you doing for food or money or clothes?
We had money to buy food.
Right. What you need to understand is when your mum didn't know where you were, she was absolutely worried sick about you. Your mum had the whole family out and your mum was waiting at home, absolutely devastated that she didn't know where you were.
On top of worrying her mum sick, Joanna was squatting in someone else's house.
Did the other police speak to you about that, about being in the house?
Yeah.
And so you're aware it's trespassing?
Yeah.
You just can't go into a house. That's the bottom line. It's somebody else's property. You really need to take a look at yourself and the friends you're hanging out with. If you think it's all right to do that for a week, do that to your family. What you need to do is apologise to your mum. Because I think for that week that you're gone, she was going through absolute hell just because she didn't want to make a phone call.
Now that Joanna's home, maybe she'll understand just how much anguish she's caused.
I think this might be a real turning point for Joanna. Hopefully she realises the pain and stress she put her mum and family through, and she uses it as an opportunity to really knuckle down at school. And if she was to need some time alone again, just call her mum, let her know where she is. Be a big relief for her mum.
And back inside, things are already looking better.
Sorry, Mum, for everything.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit...
Hello?
Yeah, can I speak to Cheryl, please?
Speaking.
Cheryl, it's Senior Constable Gale from the Missing Persons Unit. How are you going?
Good, thank you.
Mandy Gale is on the phone to the Australian grandmother of 15-year-old New Zealand girl Cora Hutton. She's been missing for 5 days.
First, if you can give me a rough idea of what's happened in the last couple of days, just so I can get my head around it.
Well, nothing's happened other than Friday morning was the last time I saw her off school.
Yeah.
She came home at 5. I waited that long, and then I left a note and said I was going out to get dinner for us.
Yeah.
And I came back and she was gone.
Back home in New Zealand, Cora was mixing with gangs. So her mum put her on a plane to Sydney to live with her nana, Cheryl. But within weeks, Cora was back to her old tricks.
How's she been in herself? Has she been any different lately? Is she...
She's sort of up and down, and yet when this happened, I sort of looked back and I thought, she's planned all this. I think she's lived that life before, likes it, and probably couldn't wait to move out and do it.
Do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
They're a worry, aren't they? I think at 15 they think they're so much older, but, you know, they're still young, you know, so... All right, will you hang tight till we get there and we'll see you soon?
All right, thank you.
OK then, bye.
Bye.
She's come over from New Zealand. Her mother was concerned about her, obviously, over in people she was hanging with over there. She's come over here to stay with her grandmother and get back on the right track, but it seems that she's possibly doing the same thing over here that she was in New Zealand. So we'll pop out and speak to her grandmother and sit down, have a chat and see if we can figure out other places they might like to go or shopping. So, yeah, different one.
Last week, we brought you the case of 53-year-old Robert Mumford. 3 months ago, he left work for the day and just vanished.
Okay, George, did you hear anything at all from Robert?
No, not a word.
Nothing from his friends or anything?
No, not a word. He had a birthday last Tuesday, and not a word there either.
His parents, Joan and George, are heartbroken, and they find it so hard to believe their son would just walk away from his comfortable life.
When he left work, he could have not worked for the rest of his life.
Yeah, you tell me, his entitlements. He's been there 33 years.
Yeah, 6 weeks sick leave accumulated, 8 months long service leave, and only 2 years off collecting his superannuation, which was considerable.
And not only did Robert leave behind a lifetime of savings, but his sick mum as well, who had been in hospital without knowing what the problem was.
The first 2 weeks, nobody told her, and then I saw the doctor over there, and I said, what are we going to do? And he says, she's got to be told. So we told her, and it didn't go over too good.
Since he vanished, police have received reports Robert might have been in the Newcastle area. But 3 months on, there's been no word from him. So his parents have made this difficult decision.
We've terminated his lease, packed everything up.
Nothing to indicate that he didn't intend to come back?
No.
Any clothes missing that you could...
Not that I know of. Yeah, plenty of tucker in the fridge. These blood pressure tablets, they were still there on the sink. He'd obviously taken them that morning.
And it's those blood pressure tablets he left behind and needs every day, which make things so much worse for his sick mum.
Robert, I'm very sad that you're missing, and I wait every day for news of you. Please come back.
In Sydney's west, Mandy and Joe are on their way to interview the nana of 15-year-old runaway Cora Hutton.
We're definitely more concerned as time goes on. We know she was mixing with a bad crowd in New Zealand, and that seems to be the case over here in Australia as well, so hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it soon.
Cora has been living here with her nan, Cheryl, for the past 6 weeks.
Okay, just a couple of things I want to go through with you. Access to like money and things like that, does she have her own bank account? Or...
No.
So she's got no access to any money at all?
No, nothing, no.
So no access.
Cheryl has brought up 4 children of her own, and chasing after a difficult granddaughter is the last thing she needs in her retirement, particularly when Cora was suddenly foisted on her.
I didn't know she was coming until my son rang me and said, you've got an hour to get there. And I waited and I saw her come out and I thought, it has changed. I shouldn't say it.
She?
She, yeah. You know, and we went from there and I thought, well, we're going to be friends. That's about all that can happen.
But then, Cora's nana found these disturbing lyrics from a song that Cora had written down.
The place to spend my quiet nights, time to unwind, so much pressure. No one knows my struggles, they are only to see the trouble. Not knowing it's hard to carry on when no one loves you. There has to be a place better than this in heaven. So right before I sleep, dear God, what I'm asking, remember this face, save me a place. That's, oh.
That's heavy.
That's very powerful.
Powerful and sad. It's now obvious Cora is a deeply troubled 15-year-old. After 5 days living on the streets, Mandy and Joe need to find her ASAP.
To be honest, I'm a lot more concerned now than what I was when we first got here. To me, she's a young girl crying out for help, for a family and a bit of love. And hopefully if she comes home, we can provide some services that'll help both of them. So we need to find her sooner rather than later.
In the New South Wales Blue Mountains, police are at the parents' home of 53-year-old Robert Mumford, who vanished 3 months ago. After terminating the lease on their son's unit, they've moved all his belongings to their home for safekeeping.
It's a very extensive record collection going back many years, and there's a full set of Beatles there, there's a full set of Beach Boys, and
loved his music.
Here back, that's his clothes. There's 4 suitcases full of clothes.
Yep. And you've gone right through that?
Yes, matter of fact, we've washed and ironed every item.
Yep.
Found nothing in pockets or anything like that.
So, no clues here. Just a dad clinging to his son's life through a few precious mementos. So, with Mark and Phil at a dead end, Robert's dad makes this desperate plea.
You, Robert, are the only one who knows why you have gone missing. As your disappearance has become widely known, many phone calls to us have inquired of you. You have many friends. Your mother has had a long spell in hospital and is still not well and misses you greatly. Christmas and your birthday were sad times for us both. Please, Robert, for your own sake and for the sake of your mother, please make contact. Thank you, Robert. We hope to see you soon.
7 a.m. Constable Mark Gillard is already on the road in the search for Robert Mumford, who left his 2 elderly and sick parents behind.
We're just on our way to Newcastle. My inquiries have shown that Robert spent the night in a hotel in Newcastle the night he went missing. I want to speak to Adam, who was a staff member on duty when Robert arrived, see if he got any indication of his state of mind, if Robert mentioned anything about going somewhere or where he'd been. Just try and find out some more general information. Robert booked in to the hotel here on the night he went missing, okay, and you were working behind the counter out the front. Can you recall the incident at all?
Yeah, he booked in quite late. He seemed pretty happy. Just like most people, when they book in after 1 a.m, he was pretty tired and he was keen to get to his room, so it's nothing really out of the ordinary.
Nothing at all?
No.
Did he say anything at all to you when you come in?
Just that he was really tired, he'd been travelling, and that he was keen just to get some sleep.
These are the last images of Robert Mumford, caught on camera when he signed in at 2:30 a.m. But this wasn't the first time the hotel manager had seen him.
I'd seen him out the front earlier on in the night. He was just walking past.
How much earlier would that have been?
Oh, it's about 12:30.
It's a few hours.
Yeah, he just walked past and then he came in sometime later. I don't really watch the clock.
Did you get the impression he was away on a trip, a business trip, a pleasure trip?
Oh, like he had something to do, but I just thought he was somebody on holidays, travelling light.
So he seemed to have a purpose or something?
Yeah.
Whatever Robert was planning to do, it looks like a last-minute decision to leave. He's carrying only a small bag.
I know that was interesting. The next step, there's a possible sighting of Robert up around Warners Bay a while ago. So I'll go talk to the local police, see if they can give me any more details.
Back in the search for 15-year-old Cora Hutton, police are checking out the local skate park where she hangs out.
There's a real concern for this girl who lives in this area. Do you know where she is? Do you know who she hangs around with at school?
You know where she lives?
Does she come here? We know where she lives. We know where she lives.
Never
With respect to her family.
I don't know why she went away. Why? Can't say, it's kind of...
Do you know her? Listen,
Yeah, I know
I'm not mucking around.
I know her.
All right.
She goes to my school.
All right, well, come over here because I want to know because we've got a fair idea what she's doing, and where is she?
I'm not sure where she is, but I think I know why she ran away.
The kids tell Mandy that playground gossip is the reason Cora has disappeared.
So someone's basically started a rumour, and because that's the thing, you guys...
Because after the rumours, she hasn't been to school.
So you can see how damaging it is to say bad things about people, can't you? Do you know who else she hangs around with?
The children also tell Mandy Cora normally hangs out with a couple of girls from school who are missing as well.
And were you there today?
No, and Amy weren't there today.
But were they there today? So none of them were there today? I know. They go all the time, I know. I know. They go missing a lot too.
Yeah, I think they run away again.
Yeah. We think they're all probably together, so we're just trying to figure out roughly where they are, where they hang out, whose house they'd hang out at.
Where does Amy live?
Mandy reckons if Cora's heard the bad rumours about her, she might be hiding at a friend's house. So police head off to canvass the homes of some of her friends. Meanwhile, Mark and Dan arrive at Belmont Police Station, north of Sydney. They're here to check out a report of a second sighting of Robert Mumford at a local supermarket. A newspaper had run a story about his disappearance.
What can you tell me about this phone call that we received?
Basically, there was an article in the Newcastle Morning Herald, I believe. Allegedly, within 2 minutes of reading the newspaper article, she contacted Crime Stoppers or the police assistance line. And I think within 20 minutes of receiving the call, the police has made an extensive patrol of the supermarket area, but were unable to locate Mr Mumford.
So it seems fairly credible. It's just...
Might indicate that he's been up here for a while then.
Yeah, for a bit of luck, hanging around, they might know him up there. So we get up there, show the photo around. Hopefully someone else will recognise him and get somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
It's Mark's best lead yet, so he heads straight to the shopping centre. Back on the trail of teenage runaway Cora Hutton.
We've had some information come through on some addresses that Cora may be at. The addresses are of girls she goes to school with, so we're going to pop round and check them out and hopefully knock on the door and she'll be around. Well, they could easily hang here then, couldn't they?
No answer.
Someone in there from him.
But Mandy thinks she can hear someone inside.
It's in there.
Still no answer. So she looks around and finds this open window.
That shouldn't be open. Sorry to bother you. Just trying to find out if the people next door, are they there often, or is it normal for them to leave a window open?
No.
Mandy thinks the girls might have bolted out the window just as she and Joe arrived.
Who lives in there? Are they adults or just kids? Or
No, they're adults and a couple of kids in there.
A couple of kids. There's a girl and a young boy.
When Mandy looks inside, there's no one around, but it certainly resembles an untidy teenager's room.
It's now shut.
Police may have just missed the girls. For Cora's nana, Cheryl, the sooner they're found, the sooner they can start rebuilding their relationship.
Cora, this is Nan. I love you. And I think we can still make a go of it and be excellent friends, just like Mum wrote to me and said. We all want the best for you, me especially. I miss you and I love you. Come home.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit...
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Anna Morzic, please?
Yes.
Constable McIntyre is on the phone to Anna Morozic. Her 79-year-old husband went to play cards 2 nights earlier and hasn't been seen since.
What can you tell me about John?
He leaves home on Tuesday about 7 o'clock. He usually go to play bridge. Usually once a week come about 11 o'clock.
Right.
So 2 days he wasn't here. So I report yesterday when he was not come one night.
Polish immigrants, Anna and John, have been in Australia for 58 years. For the last 10 of those, John has been a regular on the bridge circuit. He has never missed a game before.
OK, Miss Morzic, we'll see you in about an hour's time.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then. Bye.
Bye-bye. I can tell by the tone of her voice that Miss Morzic is very worried. It's been 2 days now since she's seen her husband. He has had some heart problems in the recent past. The heart problem might be the cause of why he's missing.
Back in the search for teenager Cora Hutton, Mandy and Joe have arrived at the home of another of her school friends.
How you going? After Cora.
Oh, she's not here. I promise I'm not... She's not here.
When did you see her last?
She was with my younger sister.
Do you know where they're gone? Her
No.
grandmother's really sick, that's all. Can I speak to your sister? Yeah. Thanks.
No.
I want to go and have a look.
There's certainly someone in the back shed who's very camera shy. It's now looking a bit sus.
Can you open the gate just so we can see for ourselves, please?
Mandy and Joe head in to check it out.
Greg, just watch the shed in case she comes out.
Police did find 2 girls in the shed, but neither of them were Cora.
We explained a lot to them what's been going on, and I think they understand now how important it is that we find Cora. hopefully word will get around, which it usually does, and she'll surface somewhere. And if not, we'll have to try and make up some more contacts, get in touch with the school and see if there's anyone else she hangs around with and go from there.
Across town, police are on their way to interview the wife of 79-year-old John Morozic.
The concerns are that he's an elderly gentleman. He suffers from a heart condition. He had a bypass 2 years ago, and he's been gone 2 nights now. And that's a concern, and it becomes more of a concern if he stays away a lot longer than that.
When Doug and Adam arrive, Anna is frantic.
I think it's something happened.
Hello, Miss Morozic. How are you?
I think it's something happened.
It's obvious just how worried Anna is about John.
Come and sit down.
About 7 o'clock evening, he left home, and usually he come about 11 o'clock, but this time he didn't come.
Do you know any of John's friends? No names?
He has no friends.
No friends?
No.
What about maybe just people who play cards with him?
Ah, yes. The people from the bridge call him always.
Okay, all right.
Nobody else. But maybe he wasn't feel well. He was at hospital about a month ago because he has some pain here.
Okay.
Police now realise they need to find John because he's just had major heart surgery and needs constant medical care. "15-year-old Cora Hutton has now been missing for 6 days. A visit to her school has given police new leads.
We now know that our missing person was seen at Bankstown yesterday afternoon in company with another 2 girls and some boys. So we've got more definite locations now to check. There's a cafe, we believe, down at Bankstown, and there's also the railway station to check out. So and head off down to Bankstown and see what that turns up.
But on their way there, they pass by the skate park and see a group of kids who run off when they see the cops.
That's them.
It could be Cora, so Mandy and Joe run in before she has a chance to disappear. But when they get there, she's gone.
Why do you look so worried when we pull up? I wasn't. I wouldn't even bother to get out had you not panicked and stuck something up your skirt and looked really worried and everyone took off. It makes us suspicious then. Can you see?
Mandy is sure these kids are hiding
I
something.
don't know where they are. Why don't I believe you? Why are you so secretive when we pull up and all that? What's going on? Nothing. If she goes and does something silly, how are you all going to feel? All I want to do is see her. She's not getting locked up, I'm not doing anything. I just want to know she's alive and well. That's all I want to do.
It's so frustrating for cops like Mandy. As hard as they try, they often don't get the trust from kids they need.
I'm starting to feel like we're going a little bit round in circles. The walls are up, the kids don't want to talk. When we got here, a whole group of kids took off through the park, but they're not ready to admit that that was them. We don't know for sure, so we'll head over to Bankstown and, yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back at the moment.
John Morozic is 79. He has a heart condition and has been missing now for 3 days. Police are desperate to find someone who might know where he is.
Maybe someone from the bridge.
It looks like there might be some phone numbers here from his friends from Bridge, so we might ring them, eh?
Yes.
How's that? Okay, yeah, so there's some phone numbers here, so we'll try and ring these numbers.
Have a look.
It looks like he's got an account with the Commonwealth Bank.
What's the date on this?
We've got a doctor's card there.
We might take that.
Write that down.
And then Anna reveals something that will surely help.
He was Melbourne, yes. And he stayed with some woman in Melbourne, and they corresponded to each other. And I know she got a daughter here in Sydney. When the lady from Melbourne come here, he meet them. But where they live, I know only they live in Sydney, but I don't know anything else. Maybe she can. I don't know. I don't know, but I think he was in the club.
Maybe if we look in these books, we might be able to find that address and maybe a phone number, so we might be able to contact him that way.
But
it's a good lead they could have done with a lot earlier. But before making inquiries in Melbourne, police will check out a local lead first.
We've got some good information from Anna, so we're going to go down to the local Polish club, make some inquiries there, and see how we go from there.
Meanwhile, in Queensland's Missing Persons Unit, Senior Sergeant Jim Ryan is investigating the case of 36-year-old Robbie Nivison. He left his Brisbane home 13 months earlier and never returned.
He travelled to his friend's place in Lismore, where he dropped off his dog Basil, and said that he was going round to the other house that he owned, his rental property, to do some repairs, and tenant there has told us that he never actually turned up.
Robbie, seen here at a family wedding, has a history of taking off when things become too much. But what was different this time was 3 days after he left, he sent letters to his loved ones.
The letter to his mum told his mum that he loved her and that he needed to get away for a while. There was a similar letter of a similar vein to his friend who's looking after his dog, that he needed to get away.
So Jim and Detective Carmel Harris decide to find out more about Robbie's emotional letters. They head off into rural New South Wales to meet with his family. Back in Sydney's west, Doug and Adam arrive at the Polish club where John Morozic plays bridge.
Excuse me, gentlemen, do you recognise that photo at all?
I recognise the photo, but he does very, very seldom.
You're looking for a gentleman. We're wondering if we could show you a photo, you might be able to recognise him, or whether you've seen him lately.
That's all right. Sometimes those pictures are not very reliable.
Yeah, that's the best we can do at this time. No?
Yeah, I know him.
When did you last see him?
He used to come to play bridge in Berwood.
In Berwood?
Mondays.
On Mondays?
Yes. RSL club? Yes. Yeah? Yes.
So how long ago did you see him?
3-4 weeks ago.
Okay, all right.
So, with no sign of John in Sydney, Doug's only lead now is to find his lady friend in Melbourne. In the case of 36-year-old Robbie Nivison, Queensland detectives have crossed the border into New South Wales to interview his family. The Nivison family have lived on this rural property near Lismore in northern New South Wales since the early 1800s.
Jack.
It's now run by Robbie's two brothers, Hugh and Dougal.
How was he when you last spoke to him? What was his demeanour on the phone?
You know, from our point of view, we hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary. So, whatever our conversations we were in contact with, for us, had been perfectly normal up until that stage.
We've spoken to some of his friends, and they said, "Oh, look, Robbie was, would get down at sometimes, and other times he wouldn't." But that's the way he was. He was a little bit, he's hot and cold. He was not a lot in the middle. Nothing unusual for him. So.
What was unusual was this farewell letter that Robbie sent to his mum 3 days after he vanished.
Just said, "I've had enough of the city life, and I can't do it. I'm a happy and spiritual man, and I'll hopefully find something better." He signs it off, "Your loving son forever, Robert."
A question which I think is important to the investigation, even though it may be a little bit, well, it's pure speculation on anybody's behalf. But do you think it's possible that he has done some harm to himself?
I think it's entirely possible that that he decided to take his own life. Reading the letter he wrote to Mum. On a positive side, there, as Doug said, I'm going away for a break. I'm not going to see you again for a while, if not ever. Or it might mean I'm properly going away. I'm going to go and take my own life somewhere.
13 months on, and his mum is still too fragile to be interviewed by police.
I think particularly for Mum would like to know one way or the other. If he doesn't want to be in contact with the family, that's fine, but I think Mum would like to know that he's alive, if that's the case. Yeah. And if he is dead, she'd like to know that too.
In the Robbie Nivison investigation, detectives have arrived in Nashua, in northern New South Wales, where Robbie left his dog Basil with his close mate Mark.
Mark. Yes. Jim Ryan from Missing Persons. How are you? Good to meet you. Carmel Harris.
Hey, Carmel. Come here.
Thank you.
Jim's hoping Mark has a sense of what Robbie's plans were after he dropped off his dog.
Did you know he was coming before he turned up?
He called and said that he was going to come down and drop Basil off for a couple of hours while he went into town and did some work on the house for the tenant.
Right, yeah.
And could he leave the dog here, which he did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he left Basil here and then he said he'd be back in a couple of hours to pick him up.
He seemed perfectly happy.
Cool, calm, collected, very happy.
Didn't seem at all depressed.
No, I didn't get any feeling that he wasn't going to come back.
All right.
I was very surprised when I didn't hear from him.
But 3 days later, he did hear from Robbie when he also received a letter from Alice Springs.
What did you think when you received that letter?
So what on earth are you doing in Alice Springs? And why have you written it that you know, why haven't you come back?
Yeah, OK. So, is this completely out of character, or has he sort of taken off and just disappeared before? Or...
He has taken off and done drives away. I think every now and then it's sort of like his pressure release valve to get in the car and just buzz off. Last time he did it, he put Basil in the car, which was about 3 months before he left the last time. Put Basil in the car, went for a drive out through Tenterfield, Broken Hill, and then ended up down near Melbourne and came back. I think he doesn't want to be found. Yeah, that's the situation.
If Robbie has started a new life somewhere, he hasn't broken the law, but his family do need to know he's safe.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thanks very much. Nice to meet you. Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.
See you again.
So, while Jim and Carmel continue their investigation, Mark will still care for Basil. Back in the search for 15-year-old Cora Hutton,
Just going to ask.
Mandy is canvassing the Bankstown city centre where Cora was last seen.
We're looking for a missing girl. That's her there. It's a pretty old picture, though.
Yeah, that's her. Remember seen her around. That's her. I just
Where?
seen him like half an hour
Where?
ago. Yeah.
Where were they?
I was sitting right here, and then they walked around to the net cafe. And was that with the white? Yeah. The girl with the white? They might be in home base. They might be in home base.
Home Base is a local youth cafe.
Youth centre on the corner.
So Mandy and Joe head straight to the cafe in the hope the girls are still there.
Only problem is we stick out like a sore thumb, and if they see us first, they're going to go and do a runner. Hello. Can we just speak to the girls over there? They left, have they? What was your name?
Ben.
Ben.
Cora and her two friends have been here.
Just so they can come straight back. Yeah. Yep, sweet. Thanks, Ben.
Police are now only minutes behind them.
We're probably as close as we can be at the moment. We've spoken to Ben. He confirmed the three of them have been there, left half an hour ago. So it just seems to be the same thing everywhere we go. So he's going to get in touch with them, hopefully get them back there, and we'll be able to go in and speak to them. So we'll stay out of the way for a little while and wait for our phone to ring and hopefully sight the three girls.
Queensland detectives have travelled to Lismore in northern New South Wales to interview the tenant of Robbie Nibberson's property. Robbie said he was coming here to do repairs on the day he disappeared.
As far as you know, has anybody sort of come around here, sort of looking for him, just to drop in and say good day? No one's come around and said, oh, does Robert still live here or anything?
When he was first said to be missing, a few people came and, I think they were just friends, local friends. Yeah, but that's all, no one else. Yeah. Sometimes we get strange cars up the street, people looking, but who knows, yeah.
And what about any repairs or anything like that on the house? Who's been taking care of that?
I've been just handling that, yep. Yeah. Just fixed it how I could and took it out of the rent and put what was left into his bank account. Yeah, and just kept all receipts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Police check records and Robbie has not been using his accounts. It's not a good sign because he's either made a complete break from his previous life or he's come to harm. In the chase for runaway 15-year-old Cora Hutton, Mandy has just received a call from the youth centre where Cora and her two friends were last seen.
That was Ben. He's made an appointment to meet up with the three girls next Tuesday at Belmore at 3 o'clock. So I'm hoping this might be some more information.
But then, this sudden tip-off from one of the kids Mandy spoke to earlier.
Where'd they go?
Young girls with a white skirt. Down there.
That's them.
So finally, Mandy and Joe spot the girls, but they have to reach them before the girls see the cops. After 6 days on the run,
Guys, don't run.
Mandy has just spotted teenager Cora Hutton.
Cora. Cora. Come here. No. Come here. Come here.
But once police catch up with her, things look as if they could spiral out of control.
Listen. All right. Stop. Wait. Just let me explain to you, because you can explain some sense to them.
But once Mandy and Joe settle things down,
Okay.
Can you, like, hold this up, because they're, like...
they eventually get the chance of a few moments with Cora.
Cora, your grandmother is worried sick, and your mum, okay?
I want a drink.
Yeah, come and sit in it. Spoke to your grandmother. For someone to take in a 15-year-old when she doesn't really know you, that's such a good thing. And she wants the world for you, and she's terrified something bad's going to happen to you. She's told your mum, and your mum said she would drop everything to come over here to be with you if that's what you want. Is that what you want?
I want her to move over here.
Maybe that's something you can talk about if she comes over.
Yeah.
If you guys can show me where you want to be or what house you want to live at, and they're going to look after you, and your nan's okay with that, and it's just till things get sorted out, till your mum comes. But we have to make sure that it's a place that you're safe. I really feel for them. We've heard so many different sides, but once you meet them and you sit down and you talk with them, like, I've never felt badly towards them, and I know our unit doesn't do that. We're here to help these kids and try and find somewhere where they're safe and they're happy and they're comfortable. Hopefully, we can put a bit of faith back, a bit of trust back between the police and them, because I know they're really angry at the moment. Find them somewhere where they're safe, where everyone's agreement to where they're staying. And the good thing is Cora really wants to see her mum, so yeah, so fingers crossed it'll have a good result, get the result everybody wants. So fingers crossed.
The Robbie Nivison investigation has now brought Queensland detectives to Sydney to speak with Robbie's other good friend, David.
Jim Ryan, David, how are you?
David and Robbie have been mates for 15 years. They've shared homes in both Sydney and on the Gold Coast. David tells police about a bizarre call from Robbie a month after he disappeared.
It was a call that came through to my mobile. It was a really irate, flustered person on the other end of the phone. Very flustered, really agitated, and I'm like, oh, calm down. I knew at this stage that there was problems going on. I said, you can talk to me about anything. We've had many different situations in our friendship. I said, I don't care what it is. You need to let your family know you're okay, because I know his mum's elderly. And at that point, the phone call finished and just hung up. It did sound like a payphone as well, because there was like a coin. There was a lot of noise, a lot of background noise. So that was all.
To the best of your knowledge, the voice that spoke to you on the phone that night was him?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Okay.
This irrational call reinforces the worrying messages in the letters Robbie sent his mother and mate, Mark.
Knowing the content of that letter, what's your interpretation of that content?
Given the content of the letter and the fact that he handed up his dog Basil, I suppose the resolution I've reached is that he's done something to himself, and I just hope he wasn't in any pain. That's all I can think of.
David believes he'll never see Robbie again. But back on the family farm, his brother will never give up hope.
Robbie, if you're watching, drop in and see us. We'd love to see you any time. And I've got a short note from Mum. It says, please come home, Robert. I miss you so much. I also miss you popping in to see me, and I really miss our yearly holiday together. I love you, Mum. and she really is missing you. Thanks.
In the ongoing case of 53-year-old Robert Mumford, police are following up a Crime Stoppers call about a sighting at this Newcastle supermarket.
Hello. Good. Therese, is it?
Yep.
Therese, I'm Mark. I spoke to you on the phone.
Yep.
We're looking for a missing person.
Yep.
Okay. Does that picture look familiar to all of us?
He looks familiar to me because like we have a fair few customers and like we have 26,000 a week, and there's a few that sort of you stop and have a look at for whatever reason, the way they're dressed and that, and he does look familiar to me. Yeah, as being in here.
With the clothing, does he look like he may be living it rough? Doing it rough?
Yeah, he did. I'd say almost homeless.
Very interesting. Sounds promising.
If it was Robert she saw, it doesn't make any sense that he's living rough when he has his life savings in the bank.
Okay, what I'd like to do, if I could, I'll leave this poster with you.
Yeah.
If you could put it up in an area somewhere where all your staff access, and just let him know that he is missing and he's possibly hanging around the area. Okay, his parents are desperate.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Okay,
See you later.
see ya.
That sounds fairly promising. The manager believes she may have seen Robert hanging around fairly regularly. Looks like he's doing it a bit tough, which should kind of fit in. We'll have to wait and see. Left the poster there. She'll talk to the staff. Hopefully that'll encourage a bit of someone to come forward. Hopefully we can find something. We'll keep going. Hopefully find him sooner or later. Give Mum and Dad a bit of good news.
And back at his mum and dad's home, they're not giving up at all.
I am confident that he's going to turn up. I just feel it. I'm just confident that he is going to turn up. And I know that Mark and his offsiders haven't found anything, so that strengthens my belief.
After 3 days on the case of 79-year-old John Morozic, there's finally some good news.
Apparently Mr Morozic's arrived home, so we're going to go down there now so he can be cited by police. I'm curious to know where he's been. Hopefully he can fill in the details. Obviously Anna's been really worried about him, and he has got some health problems, so we want to make sure that he's okay and that Anna's pulling up okay too.
When they get there, the relief is written all over Anna's face.
I believe you've had some good news.
Come on.
Mr Morozic, how are you, sir? Constable Adam Marsh. Very nice to meet you, sir. This is Senior Constable Green.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, you were our missing person. I believe you come home safely and everything's okay. And...
Yes, I come. Yeah, I wasn't missing. No.
Yeah? You went away on a holiday or something?
Yeah, I went south to Melbourne.
You went south to Melbourne?
Yeah.
So you enjoyed yourself down there as well?
Oh, yes, it's nice, very nice.
Although John and Anna live in the same house, they're separated. John has been visiting that lady friend in Melbourne. Problem is, he didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, Anna was very worried about you?
We are separated. That's a problem because there is not much communication between us.
Yeah.
Because of that problem.
Yeah, just if you could let someone know next time.
Yeah,
just so we don't have to
I
worry
may
about
go
you,
to Brisbane for
You're going to Brisbane next time, all right. You make sure you tell someone, okay? Just so we know that you're all right. I guess the moral of the story is to just tell someone when you're going away. It's okay to go away, but make sure you tell someone. And I guess it's back to the office. Happy result.
Yeah, can I speak to Karen, please?
Speaking.
Karen, it's Senior Constable Gale from the Missing Persons Unit. How are you?
Not too bad.
Mandy Gale is talking to the daughter of 82-year-old Leslie Hicks. Les is a World War II veteran who 8 days ago walked out of his nursing home.
He was last seen at the retirement village at 9:30, 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
He'd had a cup of coffee in the dining room. Then told the staff he was coming over here to my place, but he didn't come.
Les is as tough as nails. He survived the war in the Pacific and 3 different types of cancer, but recently he developed dementia and moved into a nursing home just a 10-minute walk from his daughter's house.
Has he wandered off before?
Never.
Karen, never.
He would only come here, and then, you know, if I wasn't home, he would walk back because he never ever would tell me when he was coming. You know. But, I mean, other than that, he only visited a friend of his in the next street from him.
Yeah.
And she hadn't seen him since the Thursday, I don't think.
Because of his dementia, Karen looks after Les's finances. She divides it into daily envelopes to take to his local club where he plays Keno.
We think that he's won money on the Keno on the Thursday night because he didn't pick up his envelope with his money in it on the Friday, Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we think his numbers might have come out in the Keno.
Yeah.
That's why we sort of still believe that he's out there and he's okay.
He's okay somewhere. You sound a bit shaky. I'm going to give you a contact number that we use in here for family and friends of missing persons. It's a support service number. And they're great. It's just someone you can pick up the phone, have a chat to if you feel like you need to talk to someone. So I'll bring that with me and just a few other things I can talk to you about when we come down and see how we go.
Okay.
Okay, Karen. All right, we take care and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Oh, my God. He sounds like such a battler. Health-wise, he's been through the mill and his daughter seems to think he may have won some money on Keno and he's out enjoying that. But I'm really concerned, like it's been a week, so we'll get down and talk to Karen and see if we can come up where he might be.
Across the office, Gary and Doug are meeting with Virginia Chung.
Gary Bailey.
Hi, nice to meet
And
you.
this is Doug. He's
Her teenage son, Derek, ran away 3 long months ago.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry this time, isn't it?
It's just been too long and the circumstances are different. He's done it before. He's run away before, but it's never more than 2 weeks. And each time I've been able to trace him, like friends have been very helpful.
Yep.
And his usual group of friends that always try to, tell him to go home.
Yeah.
So, but this time none of them have had any contact with him whatsoever.
What I would like, if you can just give me a list of all the known friends and that and their phones.
Okay.
And I think coming from the police, it does sort of frighten them a little bit more, and they're likely more to tell us the truth than possibly you know. All right.
What I'm really concerned is that he's hanging around with a totally different group of people who obviously they're financially independent somehow, who are older and possibly who are into the drugs and those kind of things.
Derek is only 15. If he's hanging out with a bad crowd, he could be in real trouble.
The last couple of times he's run away, he's had to borrow money to survive. And some of the boys who he borrowed money off were threatening to harm him if he didn't return the money.
Out on the road, Mandy is heading to the New South Wales south coast to interview the family of 82-year-old digger Les Hicks.
With elderly people compared to teenagers tend to keep closed doors, I guess, where their friends are involved. They don't like to admit that, yes, they know where they are or who they're with. With the elderly people, if they come from a small town, it's quite good. Everybody knows everybody, but without knowing he's definitely in the area, it can be very hard. Like, he could be anywhere. We don't have a definite lead of where he's headed, so at the moment we're flying blind.
Les is well known in his community for all his charity work and his birthplace.
He was the first baby born in Wollongong Hospital.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. He'd give anyone the shirt off his back, you know. He's very, very generous.
Yeah.
And he would do Meals on Wheels
Yeah,
deliveries.
always doing something.
Yeah, and he'd drive a bus and pick up all the blind people and take them to his farm for a craft day. This is all voluntary. So, yeah, good heart.
I think he sounds really well liked. I think he'd have a lot.
Yeah.
I think he'd have a lot of friends. So it's making me sort of think that if he was around, wandering around, people would know him.
Yeah, we don't think he's here.
No, that's what I'm thinking. It's quite possible he's got on a bus or got on a train and gone somewhere else where he's not as well known.
Yeah, I think so.
8 days missing and not one word. Even if someone does find him, because of his dementia, he may not remember who he is.
I kind of just keep thinking positive, that he is a tough old bugger and determined. So if he's trying to get somewhere, he'll do it. And I only sort of lose grip a bit when it's bad weather, that I'm worried that he's, you know, not sheltered, you know.
Back in the office...
Hello?
Is that Elaine, is it?
Speaking.
Senior Constable Gary Bailey is on the phone to the sister of runaway 15-year-old Derek Chung.
Have you heard anything from Derek at all?
No, but I have heard he's been around.
Have you? Who sort of told you that?
I have this friend, this mutual friend, that works at this bread shop in Hurstville, and he's actually seen him.
Bread shop, is it?
Yeah.
Have you got an address for that bread shop?
It's on Forest Road. It's a Vietnamese one, I think, an Asian one called King's Hot Bread. But I'm sure he goes to Miss Saigon to eat this Vietnamese shop in Hurstville.
Miss Saigon, is it?
Yep.
I just sort of wonder what he's living on for so long, you know.
Yeah, I have my doubts about that as well.
Your mates will only support you for so long. All right, well, thanks for that, and I may be in touch again, all right?
Yep, you're very welcome.
OK, then. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. The main thing is at the moment that he seems to be around, you know, an odd person sort of seeing him here and there, so I think he's just hiding, you know, and just doesn't want to go home.
In the search for teenager Derek Chung, police are following up a couple of leads Derek's sister gave them.
We're going over to Hurstville. We're going to call into a bread shop here where apparently someone may have seen Derek a couple of weeks ago. And then there's also a report that he may eat in a Vietnamese restaurant here, so we'll pop in there too and might put a couple of posters up and see what we can find out. There you go, mate. I'm Gary Bailey from the Missing Persons. So this is Doug.
G'day. Hello. How are you?
Mate, we're just over here. I don't know whether you know him or not. Got a young bloke at school missing. You know of him?
Not really.
No?
I've seen him walking around.
Have you? So you don't know what it could have been, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago or something? Or?
I'm not sure because I'm busy with the business all the time.
Yeah, you would be busy too, yeah.
While it is a positive sighting, police don't know when Derek was last here, so they move on to his favourite restaurant.
Hey, mate. I'm from the Missing Persons. Do you know this chap at all?
Yeah.
Derek?
Yeah, he's a regular.
Regularly comes?
Yeah.
How long since you've seen him?
Last 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, last 2 weeks.
It's obvious Derek's well known by all the local businesses. And his mates.
Hey boys, how you going? Look like you look like you know him.
Yeah, we do know him, but we don't know where he is.
How long since you've seen him?
Ages. More than half a year. Calling us as well, telling us to look for him.
Do you know his mum?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very worried, you know. But if you happen to find out something, just call into the police station and tell them, you know, because we just have to find him. OK.
Right.
Thanks, boys.
Derek has run away in the past and has always returned. So, as far as his friends are concerned, Derek is up to his same old tricks. But his mum, Virginia, knows that after 3 months with no word, that Derek's disappearance this time could be more serious.
Derek, I want you to know that we're all worried about you. The whole family is worried about you. You know we love you, and no matter what you've done or for whatever purpose, please contact me. I'd like to know that you're safe and that you're well and that you're healthy and that you're happy, most important of all.
Back in the search for war veteran Les Hicks, his daughter Karen and son Steve are showing local cops through their dad's flat.
And clothing, is there anything you know that's missing?
No. See, all his jackets are here, and I mean, it's not like him to go off without a jacket. You know, if he didn't have this one on, he had that one on.
I'm surprised he hasn't taken this leather jacket with him because rain, hail or shine, he wore it everywhere.
Even
across the road to the club, you know, so that's a worry, if you might say so.
Outside, the police rescue squad are scouring the grounds for any sign of him.
You look for tracks on the ground, usual footprints and that. Grass been squashed down. When you're walking through bush areas, sometimes there's spider webs. So if you get the spider web in your face, you pretty much know that they haven't been through there.
Nearby, Mandy is checking a walking track between the home and Les's daughter's house.
This was an area our missing person used to walk past quite frequently to get to family's house. Then there's nothing to say he hasn't come this way and fallen back in.
Back inside...
He hasn't taken his glasses.
No, they mentioned that. Is that a spare pair or...?
I don't think so. I'm happy to check with Shirley.
And without his glasses, Les is as good as blind.
I'm feeling the worst, to be truthful, because he's a tough old fella, but because of his health, his medication, his eyesight especially, and then we don't know if he had any money or not.
So after 9 days with no warm clothing, no money and virtually blind, the odds are stacking up against Les. Back on the Chung runaway case, Gary and Doug are on the beat in the city's south.
Up this way up.
They're hoping kids at the local cyber cafe might be able to help.
Hey, boys! Let me just have your attention for a minute. I'm just looking for someone. I want to just have a look. Do you know him? This boy? No? Haven't seen him? What about you, mate? Do you know him?
Yeah, he used to go to my school.
Did he? Yeah. How long since you've seen him?
A few weeks.
Few weeks? Whereabouts you reckon you've seen him?
He was near this Meridian Club.
Oh, the Meridian Club, yeah?
Near there. He was walking past.
A couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay, good on you. It's the same old story. No one's seen him for a number of weeks, apparently. But he does come here quite often. So we spread the word around and see what happens.
On the case of 82-year-old digger Les Hicks, Wollongong police are continuing their canvass of the area where he disappeared.
Yeah, we're just making some inquiries about Leslie Hicks, the missing person from the nursing home up the road.
Oh, right.
You don't know anything about that, do you?
Oh, just what I've read, that's all.
Yeah, you haven't seen Leslie around? No. You haven't seen him in the area at all around here recently?
I haven't seen him.
You haven't?
Police also visit his old address, just a few blocks from the nursing home.
No, do we?
And although Les hasn't lived here for some time, it's common for dementia sufferers to return to their past.
Do you remember this fellow living there?
It's a familiar face, but I cannot recall. It must be a long, long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
It's now been 10 days since Les vanished. Police and his family are beginning to think the worst.
Oh, please just let the police know where he is so that we can get him home. You can just try and get into the police or let the police know.
Last week, we brought you the story of runaway Cora Hutton. Cora was sent to Sydney to live with her Australian nana, but soon after arriving, she ran away.
No one know where they are. Why don't I believe you? Why are you so secretive when we pull up and all that? What's going on?
And as usual, police got the teenage runaround.
If she goes and does something silly, how are you all going to feel? All I want to do is see her. She's not getting locked up. I'm not doing anything. I just want to know she's alive and well. That's all I want to do. Guys, don't run.
Police finally caught up with Cora, but she wasn't happy.
Cora, come here. No. Come here. Come here.
But Mandy managed to reason with her and discovered what the problem was.
And your mum said she would drop everything to come over here to be with you, if that's what you want. Is that what you want?
I want her to move over here.
Well, now, Cora might just get her wish.
It's very exciting for Cora today. We've been in contact with Carmen, who's her mum, and she lives in New Zealand, and she's actually flying out this morning, which is really exciting for all of us. So hopefully have a nice big reunion and sit down and talk things out and hopefully sort something out that everybody will walk away happy.
So while Mandy works on reuniting Cora and her mum, in Wollongong, there's a breakthrough when police get a confirmed sighting of 82-year-old Les Hicks. A huge search by police and volunteers is about to get underway.
He confirmed it was him, and he did make the point of saying that he had those track pants on and those clothes, and he was covered in grass. At that time, our witness was unaware of the status, I suppose we call it, of Mr Hicks, and he just presumed that he lived around this area.
Airwing base, standby for Follow 1. Follow 1, standing by.
Les was last seen near a series of deep coal mines, steep, rugged and easy to get lost in.
There's a lot of tracks up there that are four-wheel drive tracks, fire trails. What we're going to do is four-wheel drive searching and a bit of foot, just depending on the conditions you encounter up there. There's also ruins and a washery that they call up there. We'll get the dog squad to just do a extensive search in that area just in case.
At 82 years old, with little to survive on, things are becoming far more grave for Les Hicks. Meanwhile, back in Sydney, Mandy and Joe are picking up teenage runaway Cora Hutton. They're taking her to the airport to meet her mum, who's about to fly in from New Zealand.
Ooh, look at you two. How are you?
I'm
Good?
good. How are you?
Excited? Look at you, all spruced up.
I'm going to see my mum.
Good. No, look good. So how you feel? Like, are you worried, like what she's going to say, or are you just because you haven't seen her for a long time?
I'm glad I'm going to see her.
Cora is about to see her mum for the first time in 3 months. And as she arrives at the airport, she's looking pretty nervous.
We know whether we'll go A and B or C and D.
But as soon as she spots her mum, Carmen, it's obvious that's who she's needed all along. Initially, it's a wonderful reunion for mother and daughter. And the result Mandy and Joe have been hoping for. But unexpectedly, Cora's nana turns up, the person Cora ran away from. And all of a sudden, Cora seems to have lost her mum all over again.
Here to see the family.
Cora is obviously not happy to see her nana taking the spotlight here at the reunion. Police will certainly have their work cut out to try and make things work between this trio. In the Northern Territory's Missing Persons Unit, police in Darwin have reopened the 28-year-old mystery disappearance of Ronya Lavoni.
Ronya was aged 15 at the time of her disappearance back in 1980. By all accounts, she was a very popular girl. She had a lot of friends with school. She was just your typical 15-year-old teenager. She liked to party. She liked to go out with her friends. The investigation that was conducted at the time found that she actually had known with mother and brother the night before, and then she went to her bedroom, and that was the last of the family had seen her. The investigation found that she actually had intended to run away with another school friend. They were to run away on the night that she actually disappeared.
But Ronya did not run away with her school friend Sarah that last night. And the next day, Sarah's brother, who is now dead, saw something crucial to the investigation.
The information was that on the night, or the morning after her disappearance, he was at a residence across the road and he located a school bag. He identified it as being Ronya's bag because she had a habit of writing down names of boys she had crushes on. So this school bag was always in her possession and she was known not to go anywhere without it. The information was it was actually a bus in the yard at the time, and this gentleman saw the bag, which was Ronya's school bag, in the actual bus.
Detective Kerry Harris now needs to speak to Ronya's mum to see if she can shed any further light, particularly on why the 15-year-old school bag was seen in an abandoned bus on a vacant block across from her own home. At Sydney Airport, Cora's nana realised she was not welcome and has gone home. It's now when cops like Mandy Gale go those extra steps to keep families together.
Before you sort of left today, what we wanted to do was just have a chat with what's been going on and trying to sort something out where everybody's happy and Cora's find somewhere for home up here or back with you or whatever.
Carmen always thought Cora was happy living with her nana, but she wasn't.
She's mean to me. She's probably mean because she cares for you. It's like a cruel to be kind type thing. In a different generation, I guess. It's the age gap. No, she's just me.
Carmen wants to believe her mother was trying to help, But she also knows sending Cora back there to live with her is no longer an option.
I think we need to work on Cora feeling safe to come and talk to me and not run when there's a problem. So at this stage, I'm looking at taking Cora home.
But I don't want to get back to New Zealand.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Cora's mum certainly has her work cut out for her. Over the next few days, she'll need to convince Cora to return to New Zealand with her, and Cora's very future depends on it. Back in Darwin, Detective Harris is on his way to interview the mother of long-term missing schoolgirl Ronya Lavoni.
Obviously, the family is still very much up in the air. The matter has been unresolved for nearly 28 years, so Mum's coping as well as can be, but obviously at this stage he is looking at some form of resolution and further answers in relation to what happened to Ronya. Knock, knock. You there, Elsa?
Elsa brought her family up in this house and remembers the day her 15-year-old daughter disappeared like it was yesterday.
When she disappeared, we have a disagreement, and I was very upset with her. And Ronya was in her bedroom.
Yeah.
And she was very upset also. I mean, she maybe was very disappointed of me. And she would not come out. And then when I woke up in the morning, I went to her bedroom, and there she was gone.
Okay. At the time she disappeared, who was actually living in the house here?
It was me, my son, myself, and Ronya.
Anybody else?
No, because I went to the police and they got this man out of my house.
All right. Was that before Ronya disappeared, or?
I think so, yes. It was before.
That man was at the time in an on-off relationship with Elsa, and when Elsa ordered him to leave, he moved into the old bus across the road.
A couple of days after Ronya disappeared, a school bag that this person believes was owned by Ronya was located or seen across the road in what is believed to be a bus or a partially built house. Do you have any recollection of that?
No.
No?
This what Lee told you?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember any bus.
Yeah.
Elsa may not remember the bus, but admits during that time in her life she was full of doubts.
I had problems at this time in my life, big problems, and I would not listen to her. She was calling out to me, Mom, I have to talk with you, and I just couldn't do it. I was full of pain. I was very close, yeah. I was trying to please her in every way, and just after she disappeared. Just gone forever.
Elsa still wrestles with her guilt today over Ronya's disappearance. She even keeps Ronya's bedroom set up as a shrine, hoping that one day her daughter might return. If Ronya is alive, she'd be 43 and maybe a mum herself.
I would like to say to Ronya, if you are watching me, please tell me that you are alive. And just come home. I'm still waiting for you after 28 years. I love you. I always did. Always loved you.
In Darwin...
Hi, Sarah. How are you? My name's Kerry Harris. I'm with the Missing Persons Unit in Darwin.
Yep.
I've spoken to you on the phone.
Police are meeting with Sarah, the old school friend of Ronya Lavoni.
What can you tell me about why you and Ronya wanted to run away?
She hated her mum's boyfriend. Absolutely despised him.
And what sort of arrangements had you made?
I was going to meet her the next night on the Moyle Oval at about 7.
Yep.
And we were going to leave from there.
All right. Was anyone at that stage aware that you were going to run away? Was Elsa's mum's boyfriend, anyone?
Nobody.
Nobody? Okay.
No one.
And since that night, way back in 1980, nobody has any idea what happened. At least not until Sarah's brother came forward to police.
Lee rang me one day last year, later in the year, and he said he remembered something about Ronya. And he said that he remembered a bus, a high house or something across the road, and there was a bus there. And he said something about her school bag, that he went there one day and it wasn't there, and the next day it was, or it might have been the other way around. And I said, why didn't you, all those years ago, say something to the police about this? And he said, because I was too young and I was never asked. But since this has come about, which wasn't probably just over a week ago, my brother passed away. So I'm still very raw about that. And I actually wasn't going to do this interview, and I thought if I did it, my brother would be very proud of me, because I would say it's from his information that they're going to find out what's happened to her.
HVP stuff if you can sort of...
Back in New South Wales, a search party of more than 100 police and volunteers is scouring a working coal mine. They're looking for 82-year-old digger Les Hicks, who's now been missing for 10 days. At the same time, mounted police search fire trails in the area.
Because we're up high, you'd see a spot of colour in the trail quicker and sooner. You can direct people over to that area to search.
Further up the mountain, Oscar, New South Wales's only cadaver dog, does his bit.
In a search like this, you've got a large area that we're identified that possibly a victim is in. So using a dog that's got a far superior nose out here can limit the search time dramatically. In addition, we're able to locate clandestine graves, so something that visually we don't interpret as someone underneath the ground. The dog will be able to come along and go, yep, there it is there.
And police trail bikers head off into even thicker bushland, searching for any signs of Leslie. Mandy and Gary head up to an old mine shaft where volunteer rescuers may have a promising clue.
Came up here on the road and one of the boys in our squad saw some footprints. They were only going one way in, so if you guys want to come and have a look.
Back in the case of Ronya Lavoni, Darwin police have taken her school friend Sarah back in time 28 years. They brought her here to the land across the road from Ronya's house.
Okay, this is a part where Ronya and I were going to meet at 7 o'clock that next night.
Yep.
Before she went missing, and run away together. I never did come back to this park because she'd already gone the night before, and actually this is the first time I've ever been here from that night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that bus was jammed up in that corner.
So this corner here where the swimming pool is? Yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember if anyone was living in the bus or if it was just sitting there?
No, I don't recall. Like, I can't remember. All I know is that there was like a bus in here, and we could see that from Ronya's house, this oval.
It might have been difficult for Sarah to return here, but for Detective Harris, it's confirmation that Ronya's suspicious disappearance started here.
Well, Sarah's recollection today coincides with the information I had from Lee's statement, and she's indicated that there was a bus here. And when we spoke to Elsa yesterday, she stated that she didn't recall any bus. And just having the mere fact that Sarah's able to point out where she believes the buses be corroborates the information I have received from Lee.
Back at the Wollongong coal mine, police and volunteers have followed one set of footprints into the mine shaft.
What we were doing, we'll just stay on the left-hand side because it's a lot safer, it's a lot muddy.
While Mandy and her team go deeper into the mine shaft, outside, the police air wing has started searching.
Rescue 71, just for information, we're about 5 minutes out from Robinson Street, Corrimal. Do we have any further updates regarding this missing person? Rescue 71 to Poly 1, if you just conduct a search to the west of Taylor Place, encompassing the escarpment area.
With the help of their special on-board camera, they can zoom in to specific areas.
Poly 1, copy that, kilometre north and south and out the escarpment area.
If Les is down there, they have every chance of saving him. Back on the ground, searchers have emerged from the depths of the mine shaft with no sign of the elderly war veteran. So, after 6 gruelling hours of searching this rugged area, things are looking even more grim for 82-year-old Les Hicks. Back at the Darwin Missing Persons Unit, in the case of Ronya Lavoni, Detective Harris has actually tracked down the man Elsa threw out of the house. The man then seen living on the bus.
We've just had immigration checks come back on the person we'd like to speak to, and he has actually been overseas. Confirmed that he is back in Australia and is living back at the guest house. This person hasn't been spoken to previously, so now we've got the perfect opportunity to talk to him in relation to Ronya's disappearance. There are serious concerns as to what has happened to Ronya, and those concerns centre around our POI. He needs to be spoken to, but if he's spoken to, obviously I'll need to take someone with me because we'll need to get a statement from him.
Get his version of events down, lock him into a story, and see how we go from there. If at any stage during the statement that grounds to arise,
then we'll caution him
and maybe look at options including arrest. That'd be my recommendation to you.
This next meeting is critical. It could finally mean closure for Ronya's family and friends. Back in Wollongong, police and volunteers have been going at it now for almost 8 hours in their search for 82-year-old Les Hicks.
We've had Polair out, we've got the police horses, we've got the dog squad, there's bikes, there's trail bikes, there's SES. I mean, you've got everybody, as many people as we can round up, and we've covered a fairly extensive area from the last place, the last confirmed sighting of our missing person. We've covered a huge area and it doesn't seem to be up here, so I guess at this point we'll go back down to the command post and get retasked, and you know, in the meantime we just wait for the phone to ring and another sighting.
But when they get back to the command post, bad weather has forced the search to be called off.
We covered roughly about 4 kilometre square grid. All in all, the aerial search, they covered an 8 kilometre square grid when they did the sweep. Again, unfortunately, nothing came up. So unless we get further information from the Missing Persons Unit or the detectives, we'll come and see you again. Thank you so much.
After so much searching and hope, the disappointment for everyone is obvious.
Between Bars and I, like, we've had cases that have gone either way. You know, you have extensive searches for people that, you know, you believe may be in an area, and, you know, every day you get another phone call, gets your hopes up, and you just think today will be the day, you know, we're going to find them. But reality is that, you know, all cases don't end like that, and it breaks our hearts. And, you know, you wish there was more you could do if we had a crystal ball and just knew the exact place to look. But reality is it doesn't work like that, so.
North in Darwin, detectives are about to come face to face with the man they're sure has information about 15-year-old Ronya's disappearance back in 1980. But because it's a sensitive moment, police ask our cameras to stay back.
Anyway, my name's Kerry Harris. I'm from the Missing Persons Unit in Darwin. We'd like to talk to him in relation to Ronya's disappearance back in 1980.
This person of interest does remember Ronya. He also confirms he was involved in a relationship with her mother at the time, before being told to leave.
Obviously, she's still missing, but we just need to find out exactly what's been going on. It's just a statement from you. That's all we're looking for. When would you be available?
The man agrees to later meet police at the station and make a full statement.
OK, we had a good result. He hasn't been spoken to before, and this is the first contact he's going to have with police in relation to Ronya's disappearance. And given that it's 28 years ago, memory and recall might be a bit of an issue, but I'm hoping he can really fill in the gaps as to what happened with Ronya and on the night she disappeared and the circumstances that led up to her disappearance.
So from this point, the case of Ronya Lavoni's suspicious disappearance will be handed over to Darwin's Criminal Investigation Unit. Meanwhile, back in Ronya's untouched bedroom, her mother Elsa prays for her daughter.
Ronya was, to me, a gift from God. She was like an angel. But I've been crying and crying all these years for Ronya because Ronya was so deep in my heart. I would like to pray to God for my daughter, Ronya. I ask you, Lord, once again that you may let me know something about her. It would be a great miracle if she would be still alive. I just ask you, Lord, that you bless Ronya and all the missing persons throughout the world. We trust everything into your hands, Lord.
It's been an emotional week for teenage runaway Cora Hutton. After refusing to go back to New Zealand with her mum, she has had a change of heart.
My mum bought me a ticket to New Zealand yesterday, so I'm going to go with her back to NZ. And then we're going to come back and she's going to live here. So we are going to live, I mean.
And when Carmen returns from a job interview for a teaching position in Sydney, it looks like Cora might get her wish to stay in Australia.
And they said everything looks great. I shouldn't have any problems getting a job, and my qualifications should be fine. Cora wants to come back, don't you, Cora? So she has to behave. Set some goals for her and strategies for not running away and staying home and communicating effectively. And letting her know there's lots of people that love her and she just really needs to be honest with people.
And it seems relations between Cora and her nana are even thawing.
Take care.
Bye, Nan.
See you again.
Yeah.
Get it right this time, mate.
If Cora learned anything, it was just how much her family means to her.
Yeah, I miss my family.
After the disappointing result in the Les Hicks search, Gary ends the day on a high with a great result in the Derek Chung runaway case.
We've got some news that he's finally returned home, so we're just going to go over and see how he is, where he's been and what his plans for the future are. Derek, is it? Hang on, mate. Gary Barley, Missing Persons. Mate, how you going? Well, sit down, a bit of a yard here? Yep. Oh, dear. So what have you been doing, with yourself?
Oh, I just went to a mate's place just now.
Yeah. So what's the story now? Are you sort of back at home now, or...?
Yep, working now.
Back living with Mum and Dad?
Yep.
Mate, what's actually happened? Because when we were looking for you, you seemed to be a sort of king of the kids here. Everyone knew you, and you know, there's Derek, and they're all sort of laughing at when they seen your picture and that. And...
Yeah, word gets around.
Yeah. And what sort of happened since then? You sort of seen the light a little bit?
Yeah, no, the whole street thing's pointless.
Yeah.
Like I saw that years ago.
Yep.
Just never got around to do something about it.
Yeah, you reckon you've done something?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like, you know, but what's this work full time, is it, or?
Basically.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, until I go back to school anyway, then it'll just be weekends.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
It is good. So good that Derek decides to treat Gary to a thank you dance.
Derek's looks like he's in good spirits at the moment. He's turned the corner. Instead of running around streets, he's now got a job. He's thinking of going back to school, so it's all good stuff, so he should be right.